This is FanCastic, the fantasy book podcast where we fancast all your favorite characters from best-selling fantasy books. Hosted by me, Loretta Kincaid. I'm a former stage and screen actress, current fantasy book narrator, and Hollywood entertainment professional working in TV music. This week, we are fancasting Dreamwalker, the debut fantasy novel by the talented Brittany Gossin, with the audiobook narrated by me. So meet me in another realm, and let's make some magic. Hello, mere mortals. Welcome to episode 5 of FanCastic. We are in April. We made it a whole month of episodes. We had no episode last week. We took a break so that we can get everything in order for you for April. We have 4 episodes out this month. This week, we are doing Dreamwalker by Brittany Gossin. The following week, it is the anniversary of the Titanic. I am a Titanic girly. I previously had a Titanic podcast and gave that up to be here with all of you, but I couldn't quite let it go. So I read a fantasy supernatural fiction book centered around the Titanic. Then we will be doing Crown of Midnight fancasting and ending the month with Iron Flame. So it's an exciting month. Before we get into today's book and what it's about and the fancasting, I wanted to take a second to just say thank you to everybody who's been listening and watching. When I started this podcast, I didn't really know if it would hit the right audience, and it's growing slowly, but I'm getting more views and listens than I really thought I would. And my little podcast, FanCastic, is charting on Good Pods, which I think is a little bit baity. Oh, you're number 8 in 100 top 100 fiction, which we were, which is great. I think it switches from day to day based on plays and stuff. I've expanded a little bit on social media, putting up some fun reels so you can see a little bit more of who I am as a host. I've really been seeing a lot of fellow book podcasts have numerous hosts, and I don't have that. It is just me, but I'm bringing on guests, so they're kind of like my weekly co-hosts. So when I'm referring to us and we, I'm referring to the collective of FanCastic, but it's just me here. I'm the one. It's me, Loretta. But I also wanted to take a second to shout out Crystal Hope, who is the host of Must Love Books podcast. She started a group called the Book Podcast Connection on Instagram. If you are a book podcast and you are looking for a group of people to collaborate with, there's a Discord. There's a group of people in there that I joined it and I was like really nervous. I was like, I don't know all these people. I've made friends with podcasts already. Shout out Booked for Two. We're Sleep Token fans and we're in the same pattern of reading the Throne of Glass series right now, which is really fun. We've talked about maybe doing a crossover episode, A Pod of Smut and Wingspan. Love them. I've been listening to so many podcasts of people that are part of this group, and there's just like an amazing community and amount of talent and love for these genres. It's amazing to me that I was like nervous to be like, I don't think anyone will listen to this. Everybody hypes each other up and supports each other. And hopefully you've noticed that the quality of this podcast has gotten better because I'm using Squadcast and Descript, and that was advice from that group. So huge shout out to all of you guys. You're amazing. I'm trying to listen to many of your podcasts while also trying to read books and make a podcast. Just a huge shout out to everybody who's in the Book Podcast Connection. You guys are great, and I can't wait to work with you all very soon and do some crossovers and fan casts. I just wanted to take a second to say that. Otherwise, let's get into this week's. We're going to fan cast a book that is near and dear and new and rising up the charts by Brittany Gossin. It is Dreamwalker, which is book 1 of her debut fantasy series. Dreamwalker is very special to me. I am Ella, the main character of Dreamwalker. I am your narrator. So if you know Dreamwalker and you have listened to the audiobook, that is me. Brittany made my life by finding me on the internet with my voiceover work and narration work. I've done poetry books and some true crime things too, but this was my first fantasy novel, and it is my favorite genre. Obviously, that's why we're here. And she found me and was like, "You are Ella. Please read my book." And I was like, "Oh my God, okay." Read the book, loved the book. If you like Divergent, Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Fourth Wing, all of the things. Like, it is a YA novel, so it is closed door spice. It's so good. I am your Ella and all of the other characters. I even voice a British man and some nightmares, and I really get into it. So once you listen to this episode, if Dreamwalker sounds like something for you, please go get the audiobook, get the ebook, any sort of thing, but I would love if you get the audiobook so you can hear my hard work and Brittany's amazing writing. So what is Dreamwalker all about? Let's talk about it. In the aftermath of a harrowing nightmare, 17-year-old Ella Windsor must face a chilling reality as the wounds from her dreams appear on her body. To add to her terror, she witnesses the intrusion of a nightmarish creature come to life, lurking on her high school campus. Faced with no choice but to escape the nightmares and search for why she's the only one who can see them, Ella ventures into the mysterious Astral Realm. Alongside Ethan Wessex, a stunningly gorgeous lieutenant of the Queen's Astral Guard, with his own air of mystery, Ella discovers a realm on the brink of war. Asvameth, the king of nightmares, harboring secrets of his own, seeks dominion not just over the astral realm, but every waking world. With the assistance of other dreamwalkers, including the devastatingly handsome Cole, a fey prince, and Rhea, a feisty elven female, each armed with latent magic, Ella may prove to be the missing piece in destroying Asvameth and saving her precious mortal and astral realms. In this epic romantasy, Ella grapples with love and betrayal, torn between the mysterious Ethan and the potential true love of Cole, all while embarking on a journey of self-discovery and found family. The nightmares have awakened, but so has she. If that doesn't sell you, you're crazy. This episode is going to contain spoilers, so if you haven't read it, it's on your to be read. Please read it. Stop here, go get the audiobook, listen to me tell you the story of Dreamwalker, read the book, get the Kindle, get the ebook at BrittanyGossinWrites.com at her website, and then come back and listen to this because I don't want to spoil it for you. I will spoil it for you by being the narrator, but I will not spoil it for you by being the podcaster, okay? That's not cool. I don't want to do that. I just feel very fortunate to have worked on this book, and I'm even more fortunate to be working on the second book with her, Dream Chaser, which will be released in July of 2025. That is just the book being published. That is not hard copy dates or any of that information. It's just her announcement of the book being published, and more things on the audiobook and hard copies and all that stuff will come from her. So please go follow Brittany Gossin Writes on Instagram. Go to her website, buy her books. I will be talking to her coming up in the next couple weeks. So you'll get a little extra episode, our first author interview episode, an evening with Brittany Gossin. So we can talk to her about her writing process with Dreamwalker, what's coming up for Dream Chaser, and that we may both be appearing at the same con in Arizona in May. So that's pretty exciting. We'll be there together, which is great because we've never actually met in person. We're on opposite ends of the country. So this week, my guest is Emilie Labonte. She is a very close personal friend of mine. She was my college roommate. She's seen some interesting sides of me. I've seen some interesting sides of her. we will get into all like the fun memories of our bookish, nerdy selves, which started way back in theater school together. She is coming on because she listened to Dreamwalker. I accompanied her in the car on a drive from Minnesota to where she lives now in Nashville, Tennessee. And she gave me a call and said, I listened to your book. Holy crap. I forgot it was you at parts. This is amazing. It is to this day the highest compliment I have ever received as any sort of artist, creator, voiceover actress. Obviously, I was like, Emilie, please come on the podcast. Hype up this book and fan cast it with me because I trust you. Emilie now lives in Nashville. She works in hospitality because she has such a love for storytelling and people and caring for them. She's super cool. She loves Legos. She loves dogs. One of the funniest people I've ever met. You're so lucky you get to meet her. She's also one of 3 hosts of the podcast Let's Press Play, which is a podcast where her and 2 other friends, they got together because she moved out of state, so she wanted to keep connected. It's really fun. Please go follow them. They're hilarious. It's Mackenzie and Katie are the 2 other hosts. Their last episode was actually Damsel, the movie on Netflix with Millie Bobby Brown. I did not love that movie, so I loved the episode, like listening to their takes on everything. That is their most recent one, so please go over to their socials, follow them, listen to their podcast. They're great. And Emilie's even greater, so let's bring in Emilie. Hi, Emilie.
You? Welcome to FanCastic.
I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so excited to be fan casting Dreamwalker. You surprised the hell out of me when you randomly called me one day after us not speaking on the phone per se for a very long time, but texting, Instagram, all that good stuff for the past 10 years. Because we know each other from college.
We do.
Which was many years ago.
Some would call it a trauma bond. And here we are. Look at us.
Yes. So people say, a trauma bond? Why? Where did you go to school? We went to a BFA program.
And we're using our degrees.
Shakes therapy, Bill. And if I may ask, what is your first memory of us meeting?
Oh my gosh. I actually have a very clear first memory of us meeting. Before we ever lived together, so spoiler alert, the story ends well.
And
but before
we were roommates.
we were roommates. But before we were ever roommates or lived together, I have a very vivid memory of us. We both lived in some on-campus apartments. Not in the same apartment, but in the same building, different floors. But there was shared Oakland B. There was shared laundry, and both of us happened to be doing laundry at the same time. And I had seen you in my classes, and I was very shy for a little bit of my freshman year. It ended very quickly. But I remember being like, okay, so what have you heard about me? Trying to make friends. That's what you do. And you said, oh, yeah, a lot of people think you were homeschooled. I was like, great. I wasn't, but that is awesome to hear. Do you want to be my friend? And luckily you had low enough standards to where you said yes.
That sounds like some shitty thing I would say, but I'm sure I didn't mean it that way.
You did not. No, you truly were like, oh, okay. Yeah.
I think you're homeschooled.
I was like,
sure that's what people have said.
Oh, so
right?
I'm weird. I'm weird. Got it. Cool. No offense to homeschool kids, but like.
No, but they know what they did.
They know what they did.
Yes, I do remember that actually, because there was those weird like booths in that like study room.
Yep.
Actually, now I exactly remember it.
There
and
we
then
are.
you were on the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the second floor, and Bailey Marhoon lived across from me.
Yes.
And her and I got very close, and then met you, and then we would come down and hang out in your apartment, or they would be in my apartment, or we'd be in Bailey's apartment. We stopped hanging out in mine because my roommates sucked. Do you remember them?
Honestly, I've blacked them out.
Okay, the one I remember, so like Maddie was an alcoholic. Like she was just like super drunk, and she would come home and eat a bunch of food and then leave it all over the kitchen. Ooh. Like it was like Doritos, or she had one of those fucking pizza pizzazzes that would like spin. You know what I mean? It was like, do you remember those? It'd be
Yes,
like
but I
you'd
haven't
put a
thought about a
frozen pizza.
pizza pizzazz in eons. That's
Yeah,
wow. What a
literally,
weird
she had a
thing to
pizza
uncover.
pizzazz. This bitch would come home and put a pizza on the pizza pizzazz, start blasting, what's that fucking song? Natalie Womack. The I hope you dance. She
Oh,
would blast
wow.
that shit and pass out on
Was
my
she
futon.
okay? Like, that
No. Yeah, she was an undeclared major and from Wisconsin. And I think she dropped out after the first year. Like she was unwell.
well,
And
there were signs. We wish her well. Peace and
goop. We
blessings.
wish you well. Yeah, that I hated Oakland B, but you guys made it great. And then Bailey and I found a place that was like right off campus.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I remember that place.
It was like you would have to like walk through these kind of creepy murder woods to get there, but it was like right there off of the campus behind the football stadium.
I moved in with you after I lived with Daniel and Michael. I went from the 212 to the mansion house with you because I remember I made it one semester with those boys. Love those boys so much. If I had stayed
Yeah.
roommates with them, we would not be friends today. I remember being like, I can't live with boys. I can't live. They are so gross. They are so
Yeah.
gross.
That was the timeline of that because 212 had a lot of parties.
Oh gosh. The
The Harry
212
Potter
was
party.
the 212 and the Harry Potter party are some of my favorite memories from college.
Best memories. Insert photos here. 2 surviving photos. Wasted standing on a couch with Daniel as Harry Potter, Michael Bauer as Ron Weasley, and you as Hermione.
Yep.
And then a photo of me and you. Me, of course,
Naturally.
as naturally as Bellatrix. Shit-faced as can be.
That is one and only party I have ever thrown that has gotten busted by the cops.
Because of Denise Brophy.
Shout out
Denise.
Denise. It's in here. Okay.
I just talked to Stephanie Hammond
Oh,
like
yeah.
yesterday. She has seen Denise Brophy traipsing around the Renaissance Fair in Minnesota.
Hell yeah.
So she's around.
I would hope so. I would hope so. I would actually love to hear this story from her
From her
point of view.
perspective?
I've never
I
thought
had
of that once. I've only ever
Can you-
thought of, God damn it, Denise. Because I was downstairs. This was a big deal. I truly love the story of Harry Potter. I think it taught me how to be a friend, and it's like the only thing I'm proud of in my whole life is how good of a friend I am.
You should be proud of 100 other things. I have a whole list, but
Well,
okay.
shut up. But like I had put a lot of work into this party. We sent out Hogwarts letters as invites. Like I hand wrote everyone's names in green sparkly gel pen because in the book it was green pen that it was written in. We cut out 7 million bajillion yellow stars and taped them to the ceiling in our dining room so that it would feel like the Great Hall. Like we had beer pong in the basement. There were signs everywhere. I worked at a candy store during this time, and I remember I stole so many rock candy pieces so that we could make Hagrid's rock cakes. It was like a chocolate muffin. We put candy on. We went all out. It was a big deal.
Didn't you guys do the happy birthday cake? Happy birthday, Harry
Yes,
cake?
we made the cake that Hagrid gives Harry the very first book.
You made the
Like
cake
we
and then
were in it. We required costumes. You could not come in the house if you were
Yes.
not dressed in costume.
You couldn't come to the door and be like, I'm a muggle.
Yes.
You'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Go dress as a snitch.
Avada
Which
Kedavra,
somebody
bitch.
did. Yeah.
We
Kedavra
did.
bitch.
Yes, we had someone who painted themselves gold to be the golden
Yes.
snitch. Your hair plays perfectly into Bellatrix, but also your aesthetic of like spooky dark witch. You use your powers for good. Bellatrix was a nut, but
Yeah.
Topaz was Hagrid, and her big head of hair, she like
She was
put
great.
it under her chin in a ponytail. I call her Ruby to this day
Mhm.
because
She
she
did
looked
the
like Ruby.
sing?
Yes. It was like theater kids
So
go all out for a costume party anyway, but like I was proud. I was so proud. I was
Yeah.
like, we are all so awesome. And then Denise let the cops in.
She just let him in.
I was
You were in
downstairs.
the basement.
Yes, beer pong with a boy who I thought was going to be the love of my life. He wasn't. We were playing beer pong in the basement and poked her head down the stairs and said, hey, Emily, the cops are here. And I said, well, don't let them in. And she said, I already did. And I was like, fuck. So, of course, we can't find Daniel and Michael anywhere. I have alcohol, and I think of this genius plan to dump Sprite on myself so that I don't smell like booze. I'm just wet with soda. I don't know. We were drunk. And I go up the stairs, and there's a cop waiting for me at the top of the stairs, and he says, "Do you live here?" And he said, "Okay,
Oh,
come on." And he brought me into the dining room in front of every person at this party. My roommates,
oh yeah.
by the way, nowhere. Missing
Mm,
in action, MIA.
mm,
No,
mhm.
he said, "Are you 21?" And he said, "Is everyone here 21?" And I went, and he took a good long look around the room of all of these people in this house dressed as characters from Harry fucking Potter. And he looked at me and went, "Just end it. Just end it. Everybody go home." And I was like, "Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We will go. This is done.
Let's
Get out."
get home.
Yes. And so he did. He left. Everybody, that did kill the party. So
Yeah.
great. I'm looking for Daniel and Michael everywhere. And I go upstairs and I'm looking in their rooms, I'm looking in my room, and we have one room left upstairs. It was an extra bedroom that we dubbed the art room because we had all of our art supplies in it. And I go to open the door and it was locked. And I was like, "Who the fuck locked the art room door? What on earth?" So I turn around and I go to walk away and I hear whispering from inside the room. "Was that Emily? I think that was Emily." And I was like,
That
"All
little
right,
bitch.
now I'm gonna break this door down." So I did. I banged on the door and I said, "Open the fucking door." They opened the door. There's 15 people in there hiding from the cops, smoking weed out of an apple. My 2 roommates
Well,
were the star of the show. They let me handle the cops all by myself, but
mm,
let the record show, nobody got a ticket, nobody got in trouble, everybody made it home safe.
and the only enemy was Denise Brody for the rest of the school year.
Listen, we don't hold grudges. We're creative little weirdos, and
Yeah. We're
that's
little book babes. You with Harry Potter is like a core memory for me for college, especially like when you and I then lived together. We were
yeah.
like, fuck these roommates. We love them, but we can't live with you guys. We love
And we
you as
found the
people,
coolest
not
house.
roommates. We really did. It was fucking raining. And we were like, we're going to go find a place to live because we were both just stressed.
We were determined
And
to just drive around and be like, "That's our house." And guess what? We
that's
did.
literally what happened. We were driving in my gray Suburban thing, driving around. We were driving down Superior and we looked over at the same time in the rain and there was a for rent sign that you get at a fucking hardware store that says up the street. And we were like, okay. And it had the address and we were like, let's go look at it. Drove up, 2-bedroom. We paid $425 a month.
Remember
And
when?
it was the whole second floor of a, what, 1911?
I would guess I was gonna say 1910. It was an
It was
old
like,
house.
it was old. It was so old. And I'm going to insert a picture here. This
Ooh,
is where we lived.
yes. It was
We
like
lived at this place.
it was like one family house, but they split it by levels so that they could rest different units.
Yep.
I
And
don't
there was
what
this
was the
older
lady?
lady.
Elaine?
Yes, the lady. Elaine. That's right. It was Elaine. She lived downstairs.
She
I
was
love this.
crabby.
It has been like many years and we are
I
still
know.
so like, bing. She was a little grandma. She didn't really talk to us, but she didn't hate us or anything. She didn't
She
complain.
only talked to us when we were too loud.
Yeah. She had the back porch and
Mhm.
like the whole like side. And then you would walk in and what was the grand staircase was then walled off and that was our entrance. And we had this beautiful grand staircase with a huge ass stained glass window, like picture window. It was like a castle. We lived in a fantasy castle, which is on par for us.
Yes.
And then you walked upstairs and there was like the one room that had the fireplace was like the living room.
Yes.
And then there was like the kitchen had this big, beautiful bay window. And then there was a back staircase that led to an extra stairway that went upstairs. And the ballroom upstairs had 2 men living there. Hot Matt Standall. His name was Matt Standall. He was a newscaster. I was in love with him. He promptly moved out 2 days after we
I was
moved
gonna
in. My
say,
heart
I
was
do
broken.
not remember this man.
I still follow this man on Instagram and he follows me too. I'm dead serious. He knew that motherfucker for 2 days and I was like, I love him. And then Henry
Henry.
and Scott.
I loved Henry. Henry was such a nice human being. And when his little brother Scott moved in, do you remember he came and knocked on the back door and we opened the door and he was standing there in a towel? I think all of our brains broke because we were like, hey, what's. And I don't remember, to this moment, I don't remember what he needed. I don't remember why he knocked on the door. I just remember being
I
like, I've seen this movie. Cool. Like,
I think he asked us to have a drink with them or, like, to
in
meet
a
them because
towel?
then we
So
did
bold.
because we were like, "What the fuck? That was weird." And then didn't they have a really expensive port wine that they, like, invited us up and we had?
They gave us a bottle of port wine
They gave us a bottle of it
because
and we
that
drank it
there
and we
was,
were fucking hungover as all
well,
shit.
that's because who gives a bottle of port wine to two 21-year-old girls? We're fucking drinking 99 bananas, okay? We're not drinking your port wine. Girl,
We're
I've seen
drinking
you
nine
on 99 bananas. I've seen you chuck a pillow clean across the room because it was right where you had put it. And you said, get off
on my
me, pillow.
face.
Yep. We were not
After we were
pickport.
drinking we would drink when we played beer pong, we would have a gigantic handle of
Ron Diaz.
Ron Diaz. I was like,
Mhm.
Rico Suarez. That's not it.
Ron
Ron Diaz
Diaz.
spiced rum with a fucking purple top.
Yep. Limon season of life. We had a Ron
Yep.
Diaz couple seasons of life.
We'd play King's Cup.
King's
We
Cup was a big
were
one. We had shot roulette for a little while. Sure, most of those shot glasses got broke because Ralphie would chuck 'em at you. Haven't seen Ralphie in 10 years. Ralphie may be
thank
dead.
God.
Rest in peace. May we never see him again.
Rip.
Ralphie blasted a fire extinguisher off into my face for fun. There was no fire. There was no reason to have the fire extinguisher.
We love an alter ego. We had some great fucking times in college, and that house is great. You were there when Kevin peed on my printer. Boy at my birthday party came over. He got so drunk. I was so drunk that I think I made a deal with God while laying on the stairs, being like, if I don't die of alcohol poisoning at my own birthday party, I will go to church. And there was a dude there that was like from my art class that I invited and I was like into. And he got really drunk and I was like, you can crash here. Nothing happened between us, but he like passed out on my bed and I was like, okay. And I woke up to him digging through my underwear drawer and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And he walked over to the corner of my room, dropped trow, and pissed on my printer, and he was completely asleep. So he like peed, and then walked down the hallway to the bathroom, flushed the toilet, and washed his hands. And I was like, that's not how that works.
You did this in the wrong order, sir.
I woke you and Kat up. We kicked him out, and I was like, you peed on my stuff. Get out. And then the next day, he sent me a bouquet of flowers that said, I'm sorry I peed on your stuff. It's like, legit.
You know what?
Thanks, dude.
You
I
know
never
what,
want to
pee
talk to you
pants,
again.
Kevin? You may have blocked out this memory, but the North remembers.
And I remember his last name. Another huge memory, too, and this is why you're here at casting Dreamwalker. The sound of Harry Potter audiobooks makes me think of you forever because that is what you would fall
Yay.
asleep to. Or if we were cleaning the house or something, you would just blast a Harry Potter audiobook and we would just be fucking cleaning the house.
Still do this. I hope
I-
brings you comfort. Literally
I-
fall asleep to some
It
Harry
does.
Potter book.
It's one of my favorite things. It brings me calm, too. So you called me out of the blue
I
a
did.
couple months ago and was like, hey,
Is everything okay? Are you
I was like,
okay?
are you all right? And you gave me the highest compliment I've ever received in my entire life or career, and that you listened to my narration of Dreamwalker
Yeah.
on Audible or wherever you got it.
Audible. I'll tell you, I had seen you promoting that you had done this audiobook, and the only reason I hesitated to listen is because I was like, damn, this is either going to be really amazing or I'm going to be hyper aware that I know the person who's telling me this story. And I was like, maybe try reading the book on your own first. Maybe don't listen to this one, pick it up and actually read it so you hear the story. And then I was like, no, not that the story is not awesome. This was such a fun read and I'm very ready for book number 2.
Yeah.
But when I finally was like, I I think I was driving home from Minnesota, maybe around Christmas time. I had a 12.5 hour car ride, and I was like, all right, what's the worst that can happen? You really love this story and Loretta is amazing, or you hang out with Loretta in the car and she has no idea. Cool. No, no harm, no foul. And I think I listened to the audiobook for 3/4 of my drive, and I loved it. It was so good, and I did forget that I was listening to you reading it, but not in a way that I was like, "Oh, tune out Loretta." It was I got lost in the characters, like, the way that you created each character, it was masterful. I really, truly enjoyed it, so much so that I'm not a phone call person. I'll shoot you a text, and I will write you 17 paragraphs in a text telling you how awesome you are, but this one I was like, "No, I have to call her. I have to call her so she can hear my voice be like, 'Bro, what the fuck? That was so good.'" And the coolest part of all of
Yeah.
this is now being guest host on your show. A lot of
Literally.
the casting that I've done is because of the character you painted in my head as I was listening. Yeah, so if you hate anybody, it's your
That I
fucking
really
fault.
didn't do my job. I did
Pressure's
a
off of
bad job.
me. This was fun.
Don't
This
say
is the
that.
first time I've ever fan casted anything. I went into it being like, "You're gonna suck at this," and I made a whole spreadsheet. I
It's
don't know.
so fun and
Yeah,
so addicting. Before I started this podcast, and granted, we're only on episode, this is 5, and I was creating Pinterest boards just by myself. We grew up acting and
right,
went to school for performance. And so we've had that kind of brain of casting and am I right for this role? And that kind of like naturally leads us to uh, think that way as
right.
we're reading as performers. And now working in Hollywood, granted, I'm on the music television side. So I'm also thinking of, ooh, what would be the needle drop for this moment here?
Sure.
I'm always thinking of what music would work, but I would love to get into casting. That would be like the dream because I have to place people for it to click and make sense and see how this would happen because that's all that's happening right now, right?
Right,
Hollywood is just creating adaptations of books. That's what they're doing. And so I'm just constantly thinking of that and especially working with Brittany on this book and creating the audiobook and having to bring those characters to life for the first time was
right.
so different. And I'm so glad that it translated into the different characters and the work that we did. I became like obsessed with fan casting.
Cool.
And so when you called and you were like, I listened to the audiobook, I loved it. I love these characters. And I knew that I wanted to feature this book, especially because just for all listeners, I'm a huge fan of indie authors. I love new stories or the same story with a little twist. We all know that all the fantasy books we read are the same thing, and we're like, okay, let's do it again. Amazing. This one, I feel like Dreamwalker is, I think you like the Mortal Instruments series.
Yes. So there are a lot of pieces that I'm pulling. I'm like, oh, this is, and the Mortal Instruments series is literally my second favorite series, but it's a kind of a very similar vibe to that one. And there are so many books in the Mortal Instruments series, spin-off
Like City of
series.
Bones
Yep.
and
Of Embers.
but I'm so glad that you enjoyed Dreamwalker and like I said, that phone call, I think I knew that when I was mulling the idea around of starting this podcast, I was like, if I do, Emily's going to be my guest for this book. Whether it's vain to be like, let's cast that I narrate.
Oh my God, it's not at all.
It's a great book. And the second book, Dream Chaser, is going to be coming out this July. I was just talking to Brittany, and we're in the process of talking about what we're going to do for book 2 and what we're going to be working on. And there will be more for listeners on that with a very special author episode where I'm going to sit down with
Ooh.
Brittany and we're going to talk about Dreamwalker and her latest book, Unbound, which is very Six of Crows.
You're saying all of these series that I've never read. I think I might
Oh
be
my God.
uncool. Six of
No,
Crows,
you're,
no idea. Akatar,
mm-mm.
no idea.
Oh, that one hurts me. I'm so shocked that you've never read that. I am going to need you to maybe, actually, I think you should start Throne of Glass first.
Throne of a different series, or is that the same series?
It's the same author.
Oh,
It's
heard.
her
Okay.
first series. So
Cool.
Sarah
Okay, I'm
J.
gonna write it
Maas
down.
very much pulls from, like, Disney. She's a Disney adult, and
Those
Throne of
scare me
Glass,
sometimes.
right there with you, even though I have ears on the back of my wall, but we don't go there anymore. They're too expensive.
I'm like, Disney adults really freak me out. I don't wanna talk about them. That was a humbling moment. Thank you for letting me live that on camera with you.
I love it. Oh, yeah, and it'll be on the internet forever. You're welcome. So she was watching the live action. She was 16 years old when she wrote this. She was watching the live action Cinderella, and she heard the music, and the music was, like, really menacing, and she was like,
Ooh.
and as a music TV
Right.
supervisor, editor girly, editor, I'm not an editor or a supervisor. I do licensing. Anyways, I don't get to
Words,
do the
words,
creative
words.
stuff. Words, words. She was like, whoa, it seems like she's running from something, like committing a crime. Like, what if she was an assassin? What if this girl's really an assassin and she's running because she killed somebody or she killed the prince and she has to get out? And so she started thinking of this
Ooh.
series. And so she wrote a series about an assassin infiltrating a kingdom. And it's an 8-book series. I'm currently
Oh
on
my
book 3.
god.
This series is a YA series. A Court of Thorns and Roses is that, like, spicy smut series. And then her third series, Crescent City, is, like, fucking wild. There's things in there that I was like, what upside down and the where
Oh
against the fucking
my.
cabinet? Yeah, it's so spicy. So spicy. And there's, like, weird My Little Pony characters in it. It's fucking crazy. It's nuts. It's like, don't start with that one. Don't start with that series.
I need
That,
to ease into
yeah.
it.
I think you should start with Throne of Glass. I think you would like it. It's smaller. It's like smaller books too. There's Assassin's Blade, which is the prequel, and then there's Throne of Glass, Crown of Mist, which I just finished, and then I'm halfway through Heir of Fire right now, and then there's like more, but apparently there's different reading orders. So you know how they do that where you like read it out of order because it exudes a different style. So like
Sure.
I'm reading the romantic reading order.
Taylor Swift level mastermind.
Yes.
How? I can barely keep my real human life
Listen,
linear, and you're just writing
book
8 books at 16 that you can interchange to get a different experience. My
book
witch.
girlies and Swifties. You know how
Yes.
book girlies and Swifties are. Like
Inter
it's very good. So I think you would really like a lot of her stuff. The only bad thing about Sarah J. Maas is she is a Zionist, and that is all I will say about that. She's got some problematic viewpoints on humanity. And
you wanna talk
so
about problematic viewpoints on humanity. Cue J.K. Rowling, everyone. Hey,
yeah,
there she is.
exactly. It's
Familiar.
one of those things where you're like, God damn it, we really love
Yeah.
these series. We really love these books. But
Yeah,
you're
man.
the bad
That's the
person.
worst.
Especially J.K. Rowling. When I was in Edinburgh for our honeymoon, we went to the Elephant House Cafe where she wrote Harry Potter. The original one actually is closed because there was a fire. And so they opened a new one off Victoria Street,
Uh,
which is the inspiration for Diagon Alley.
cool.
Loved it. Oh my God. I loved Edinburgh. You and I are going to go. Let's
Ready?
go on a trip. Girls trip. Let's go.
I'm in. Harry Potter
Truly,
will
I loved it so much. The magic of Harry Potter clicked for me. It's always been magical, but I was like, oh,
when
it's
you get
all in
to see where the inspiration came from.
it was in front of my fucking eyeballs
Yeah.
everywhere. And I like went to a place and was like, can I get a butterbeer? And they were like, yeah.
I love how my experience is, like, at Harry Potter World, where it's, like, really very fake, but you saw,
Also very
like,
good.
the real buildings
Yeah.
where
And
I can see it. Oh, I can
I,
see it.
I sat at the desk where she wrote Harry Potter. Like,
Uh,
it's all there. And you can do it too. And we
and you
will.
can do it, and you can do
You
it.
can do it. It was lovely. The bathroom, though, had a bunch of graffiti all over the place. People were like, fuck J.K. Rowling.
When all of that stuff came out about her, I wrote to her because she was, like, this woman who had created such an important story to this sounds so hokey, but, like, Harry Potter really has played a role into who the person I am, like, the person
And
I
how
wanna
you treat
be.
people.
I don't know, I learned a lot about myself while reading her stories, and so when all of that
Yeah.
came out about her, I wrote to her and I said, "Dear J.K. Rowling, for a person who wrote about and made her living from teaching an entire generation that the villain was the wizard whose mission was to rid the world of those not born of pure blood, and that the heroes were brave people who refused to accept that and instead chose to fight for what is right by putting love, friendship, courage, and equality at the forefront, I want you to know, us Hogwarts students will still choose to love and accept one another and will continue to fight against the Dark Lord, whom we pity more than the dead, for he lives without love. I hate to say it, but you're sounding awfully he who must not be named right about now. I suggest starting at book 1. You might learn something. Yours sincerely, Emilie, a proud Gryffindor and member of Dumbledore's army.
Slam.
I'm sure it destroyed her. I'm sure she's still thinking about it and drying her tears with her millions, billions, whatever today. But damn it, I felt good saying something because nothing is more disappointing when somebody who writes a story that changes who you are as a person and then says, by the way, I'm
the
a
villain.
jackass. Oh
Mhm.
my God.
By
It's
the way,
crippling.
I'm the villain that you've all grown to hate.
Yep.
Oh, Emily.
I know.
This is going all over the internet.
Listen, I'm not good in a fist fight, but I'll hurt you with my word.
Oh my God, that was so good.
About
I'm
it a
trying to
lot.
find I'm trying to find the graffiti pictures because I know I took a bunch of them, and I specifically was thinking of you. I will put them here. Okay, R.I.P. Regalius Black. You would have hated Timothy Chalamet.
First of all, that makes no sense, and also it makes perfect sense. Why?
It got me.
Have
It got me.
mercy.
It was so fun. Yeah, there's like a bunch of them. And then Diagon Alley. And then I went and found Tom Riddle's grave in Greyfriars Bobby, the cemetery. Yeah, it was a great time. We definitely have to go back. And we love Harry Potter. Okay, I'm going to shut the fuck up now so that we can cast this bitch. You ready?
I'm so ready.
All right. Well, here we go. The fan casting of Dreamwalker by
Wait,
Brittany
do you think we'll
Gossin.
have any matching ones?
Yes. Knowing us?
I don't think we will.
No?
No, I think
Fine.
I thought really out of the box on some of these, and I think you're going to be like, are you high?
Are you deranged?
You're
Are you
mental.
sick? You're mental? Are you sick in the head?
Who, I want to know before
I
we go
think-
into this, who was the hardest for you to cast?
Oh God. Ian.
Ian.
I think Ian was the hardest for me to cast because, disclaimer for all listeners, we will be talking about the book from here on out and spoiling things. If you have not read Dreamwalker, please go read Dreamwalker. These fan casts are not going to make sense to you. I don't
Oh,
wanna
and if you
spoil
don't
the
want to
book.
read it, you could listen to it.
You may listen to it.
You might recognize someone, kid.
You certainly can. There's going to be a brief period of time where it's no longer on Audible. We're switching platforms right now. So, yeah, it's just we're switching because it was like through Amazon and stuff, and we're trying
heard.
Brittany's trying to move it to a better platform that's helps more independent authors.
We
So
love
we
that.
love that.
We're independent authors.
Yeah,
Punch your
punched
microphone. I punched my microphone. I was so excited to say that. Please support independent authors.
Yes.
Goodbye.
And if you are wanting to support independent authors or audiobooks and still support people, I'm not sponsored by Libby and Libro FM, but I would like to be because both platforms you can get books and audiobooks from your library. Yeah, I think Ian though was the hardest for me because we don't really get to meet him in the beginning and then
Right.
we get to see him at the end and he's obviously a different person. So like I really wanted to cast somebody who is gonna be able to go through it, quote
Right.
unquote, and also they're twins that aren't really twins, and we find
Right.
that out, and so you need that to be able to translate. You need to not be able to question it because we're twins, but we don't look anything alike, and you're like, okay, that happens sometimes. It's like you're fraternal twins, so that makes sense.
Right.
But then to have it like click into, I wanted it to be distinct, and you will see with my Ian choice, like kind of why. I did think Ethan was a little difficult too, but I think he's difficult because Ethan is my least favorite character, so I don't want to cast somebody good, but I ended up going with someone that I think is, I'm not very familiar with his work, but the internet and the fandoms of the show that he's on really like him.
Love
So
it.
I think for an independent book and a debut novel, this is Brittany's debut novel, by the way. I think it's a good platform for new actors to come
Cool.
on the scene. But we don't do that here. We have an unlimited budget and we cast whoever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
Because just whose lives it anyways? Everything's made up and the points don't matter. Okay, that's a throwback, speaking of. Okay, so, but Ella is going to be, Ella Windsor is Miss Sarah Waysglass. Sarah Waysglass, if I ever had, for some fucking reason, somebody made a movie about me, there's still time for me to matter, for that to happen.
About you.
Thank you. You could play it at my funeral. Thanks. Sorry.
0 to 60. How did we go from a biopic to a funeral? I don't know.
Because that's all anyone will care about. Okay, Sarah Waysglass, I've always loved her when I first saw her in Ginny and Georgia.
Okay. I was like, I recognize her Facebook. I don't know who that is, but I have seen Ginny in Georgia. So I'm here now. I'm back.
She is the friend. She's
Yep.
Ginny's friend, and her brother is like one of the boys that likes Ginny and she likes, and there's a falling out. Is there 1 or 2 seasons of Ginny and Georgia?
I think 2. I think we're
I
waiting
think
on
there's
3. I'm pretty
2.
sure it's 2.
Right.
Because
I
I
think
feel like I've
there's 2.
seen, yeah.
Yes, there's like an arc of their friendship and then
Yep.
it gets off track. And when I first saw her, I was like, she doesn't look like me, but she acts like me. And I was like, I feel
Oh,
that.
so
She's a bitch. She's a cunt.
I get it.
She has this kind of like sarcastic, quirky, whatever, I don't give a fuck attitude. But if you say the wrong thing to her, she will cry. And that's me. That's me in a nutshell. So I love her so much. And just to put, I think she is the right Ella. Obviously, pop those contacts in. Ella's blue eyes are
Sure.
very important to the story. I think she's young enough. She's youthful. She's a little bit more like tomboy-esque. So where she is in her dojo with practicing her art of jujitsu, like this feels like the right girl. And just to sell home about like why she would play me, who
Me.
I am Ella, I just included some headshots of mine that actually match her.
I'm unwell.
That
Did you get dressed together? What the fuck is going on?
isn't this kind of freaky though? So
This
I
is
actually,
very freaky.
this is freaky. So when I was looking for a photo of her, the first photo I had as my main one, I was like, oh, perfect. This is great. This is like the little kind of sassy, smart as a whip Ella. This is how I picture her.
Yeah.
And I was scrolling down and I like saw this one where she's like in the blue. And I was like, I feel like I have that photo. And I like pulled up that headshot and I was like, the fuck? And looked down and then she's got one in that shirt. And I went, I think I have that one too. So this was just like, it was too weird not to include. I had to include this.
I should
So
just cast you.
I'm
Your
fine with
eyeballs
that.
are already blue.
Listen, I'll be 34, but if we just get the script done
Mythical
immediately,
beings.
and I'll be like, I'm in high school.
Yeah, I'm in high school. Come
I'm in high
on.
school and I jujitsu.
We'll
Me?
cast really tall people for all the other
Yeah.
roles, and you'll look
Movie
like a
magic.
high school. Yeah.
Movie magic. If we can make Tom Cruise look tall, we can make me look small. Okay.
If we can make Elphaba look green, actually, that was paint. Never mind.
That was paint,
I
but
tried.
really
I
close.
was trying to be real old now. Leave me alone.
Okay, so I believe Sarah Weisglass is an excellent choice for Ella. Next, we have Ethan Wessex, the lieutenant to the Queen's Guard. I have Danny Griffin.
I have no idea who this is.
I don't really either.
Hi, Danny. Nice to you.
He is what I see Ethan as. My worry is he's a very pretty boy. And
Sure.
every other photo of him, he is really this like stark model. Now, I feel would he be better in the current book that I'm reading? Absolutely. He would be. And I might have to recycle him. Ethan, I struggled with finding him because he was like so pretty boy. Fate, the Winx saga. I don't know what this is. It came out in 2025. He played Sky in season 2. This apparently is a show on Netflix that has a big following. It is fantasy, sci-fi esque, and people are obsessed with him. His looks and photos and kind of demeanor of like things that I had pulled up feel like he would be Ethan. However,
Cool.
I don't think he could play who Ethan turns into.
It's an important thing to consider that played a lot into who I chose for my Ethan is because I know there's a shift.
Spoiler alert, skip ahead if you don't want to know. When he
He's the
turns into,
grandma.
he's grandma. You're
There, now if
still
anybody didn't
here.
skip ahead fast enough,
We
ha,
told
we
you to
got you.
skip it.
Listening ears.
When he does transform to Azimuth, the Nightmare King, he's fucking terrifying. And I don't see this dude to be terrifying. I see him as being like sexy hot, but I don't think
Right.
Ethan is the morally gray character that we all love. He was also in Drugstore June and Get Even and Gilded Newport
What is
Mysteries.
drugstore June? Because I would like to be her, I think.
This is Drugstore June, a 2024 comedy.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah. Actually, I think you might really like this movie. She looks really funny. I want to
I
watch
won't
this.
forget drugstore June. I'll report back.
Now I have an idea. What if we watch this together and talk about it, mayhaps on a podcast called Let's Press Play?
Oh my gosh, what podcast is that, you might ask? That's
I don't
hilarious.
know.
Let's circle back to Let's Press Play and talk about Drugstore June.
That sounds great. Because, yeah, I've never seen it either, and it actually looks very good. But, yeah, so this is my Ethan. I just don't think he's the right choice, but I think he was a choice, so I went with him.
Well, fear not, because I feel very strong and confident about my Ethan. So
Okay, good. My Cole. I feel
he
good
looks a
about
Cole.
I feel good about my Cole. I am not super familiar with this guy.
Okay.
He also played a prince.
Yes, he sings. I know
He
this.
sings. He was in the newest film with Anne Hathaway where he's an artist and she goes to Coachella and she has this love affair with him, but she's too old and can't be with him.
Whoever
The
started that rumor, I would like to fist fight.
name escapes me of that movie.
Something always been you about back to something I
The
suck at
Idea
this.
of You.
The idea of you. Yay!
That's it. It was The Idea of You. And yes, there's this love affair, and he's like an artiste and he's younger and such. But so Nicholas Galitzine is who we are talking about for those who are listening and not watching, which you should be
Sorry.
watching, but it's totally fine if
We
you
talked
listen.
so much about him and didn't tell you who he was.
This is a visual podcast. I have told you, the YouTube only.
You've been warned.
No. If you're listening to this on Spotify and Apple and Good Pods, and we love you so much. Thank you so much for doing that. Like, rate, review, follow, subscribe. And also go to our Instagram and look at who the fuck we're talking about. Okay. I like Nicholas Galizzi as Cole Holbright. Cole
Hey,
Atholsbright.
hey,
Whoa.
different series. Whoa.
Whoa. That's the Wattpad version. Sorry, Brittany. Please don't fire me. Okay. I'm keeping this in. I liked him as Cole because A, he's British. B, he's got the long dark hair. We could curl it up a little bit. But one of the main features that Cole is described as having is having full pink lips. And there is an artist that created concept art of the characters of Ella, Rhea, and Cole and Ethan for this series. And Brittany has it on her Instagram. Those listening, please go follow Brittany Gossin at her concept art from the artist who I do not know. but did a really wonderful job. Made this drawing, and I feel if that drawing was brought to life, this is who it would be. But I don't know if his acting and personality is correct, but his looks are tip and
We
his
love it.
accent. I think he was a fun, cute little choice, but I'm open to someone who will knock my socks off and kick my ass because Cole's the best. Cole is the best. He might have his hidden agenda, but he's the best. Maybe he
Yeah,
doesn't. I
I'm
don't.
slightly suspicious of him, but
Yeah,
for now, golden
we'll see in book 2. He's a prince. He's got a story. We're gonna learn more about him. My Rhea Winsong,
oh my
Rhea, the
gosh, she
best
looks
friend,
perfect.
right? The best friend. She is described as having curly red hair, freckles, pointed nose, bright green eyes, and she's just like the sunshiny friend that really helps you get through. Now, she's got a story that we will learn about more as well, I think.
Right.
But I chose Rachel Stubbington, who is pretty new in the industry, and I recently saw her watching Shrinking on Apple TV Plus with Jason Segel, Harrison
Yeah.
Ford. I love that show. People, if you're not watching that show, that is a fucking great show. It's this creator of Scrubs. Love it.
I've seen the first season, but I haven't seen her, so maybe I need to go back and rewatch. But
Yeah,
she looks like she would fit with how the character is described.
she plays the best friend in Shrinking. And so she's already got that quality about her where she's
Right.
like there for her friend who's going through something pretty traumatic. And I feel like this actor Rachel, she looks like her and she could be an elf and Reyes has is elvish and I just see her as just playing her and she's just so happy and
Yeah,
cute. So I loved her a lot. I like my Rhea Winsong choice. She was an
I can see
almost
it.
immediate when I was watching Shrinking. I went, "Oh, that's right. I'm going to cast her."
Cool.
Guess how my brain works. So, Bethuria.
Ooh, I have no idea who this is, but she's stunning.
She's stunning. I think Bethuria is gorgeous. I love how she's described in the book as having teal skin with mossy patches. She's
Right.
got her veins are like twigs and intertwined. She's got almond shaped eyes. She's got this like very ethereal, light movement touch. She's very kind hearted. She's intuitive. She's gorgeous. She's got an accent that I tried to make up and not sound too
Girl, I
much like
loved it.
anything.
The
Thanks. I
accent you
try to
used
just,
impacted who I chose for my casting, so I think you
yeah,
nailed it.
yay. So, Ozzy Tesfaye, Tesfaye, I think that's how you say her name. Ozzy Tesfaye.
She can call us and tell us, because
She
I
can tell
can't
us.
help you.
Give us a ring, girl. But
Yeah,
she
we're
is
here.
from, if you don't know her by name or face, she has been working in a lot of DC stuff. She is in Crisis on Infinite Earth. She's DC. She's in Supergirl. She's already very in the sci fi television realm. And
Cool.
she's always playing like these side characters. And I don't feel like she's really had like her spotlight. Like she's had, oh, I remember Jane the Virgin.
Oh,
She's in Jane the Virgin.
huh.
She was not a major character, but she was in like several episodes of Jane the Virgin. She's
Nothing.
in Silicon Valley. So there's these big major shows that she's been a part of, but she's been like a one-off character, guest star type of
We
stuff.
love people who portray characters like that. I just read an article about Pedro Pascal. It's like right around his 50th birthday right now. And they were talking
Ugh.
about how the role that brought him so much recognition was when he played the Viper in Game of Thrones. And
Mm.
something like across 7 episodes, he had 29 minutes of screen time. And like in 29 minutes of screen time, he became one of the most like beloved characters of Game of Thrones. Where
And
like,
we will never, ever
oh,
forget his death
oh my
with the
gosh.
eyeballs.
The
Those
eyeballs,
eyeballs.
because
It was
you
horrible.
thought he was gonna fucking win, man. I thought he had
Yeah.
it in the bag. Oh, that I could go on a Game of Thrones tangent also. Point being, happy birthday, Pedro Pascal.
Happy birthday, Pedro Pascal.
We love this girl. You don't have to be the star of the show to be the star of our hearts. Babe.
He's 50, nifty, and fucking hot. We love him.
Of course.
God bless. He's waved at me before. I saw him at Pele Fest when they did a
What?
Yeah, he did a
As
Mandalorian thing.
resucking wine.
Yeah,
What?
I have a video of it. I'll text it to you. So I
Don't.
went to
It will just hurt my feelings.
Pele Fest 2 years ago. It's a fest that we have here at the Dolby Theater where they host the
Yeah.
Oscars and they do panels. It's actually happening right now. They always do something amazing. We go and we're in like the middle top tier of this rotunda of this like stairwell. And we're just checking out like, damn, people are here for the Oscars. This is sick. Like, we'd never been there before. People start cheering. We're like, the fuck is going on? I got like my Grogu cookie in my hands. I look, fucking Pedro Pascal walks through this rotunda, looks up and goes, in my camera. And I went, holy fuck.
How did Sean feel knowing that you were now married to Pedro Pascal and not him?
Knowing that I was about to just dive off of the steps and say,
Yeah,
catch
sorry.
me, Pedro.
I know. Were you
Literally.
engaged at that point? Was he just your boyfriend at that point?
I don't know if we were engaged yet. I think it was right before. Oh no, I think we had just gotten engaged because it usually happens in April and we got engaged in February of 2023. So
Well,
that
he
feels right.
almost lost his damn fiance.
Yeah. I would have been, he was wearing
To
like, Pedro was wearing like these like mustard pants too. Like, I just remember the
Oh.
whole thing. I will send
Hot
you the
dog
video
chic.
and maybe I'll plop it in here if I can figure
Yeah.
out how to do that technologically. But anyways, like you said, yeah, these side characters that you just like really remember. I feel like Betharia is one of those characters.
Yep.
Especially because we lose her. And it's really sad. And that's going to lead us into, I think, the second book, hopefully.
Yeah. Back in what's the realm where you can see the dead? It's not the astral realm. Whichever realm they go to where you can, like, because Ella
Yeah.
speaks to her mom.
Yeah, it's.
I hope we
not
get
the
some
Astral
answers from
Realm.
Betharia.
I
in
really
there.
hope so too. I hope that's like Ella's powers or something. Like she
Yeah.
has that ability to communicate with the dead, which is just another reason to cast me. So let me put that in my resume.
Yeah.
Can speak to a ghost. Yeah, I think that would be awesome to bring
Yeah.
it back because that one hurt.
It felt very. If you've read the Mortal Instrument series, Clary's mom's friend Dorothea, in the sense of a character that you've grown to care about and then you lose too soon, especially when there are answers you did not get.
The way that Ethan is, don't talk to her and stuff, like, oh, fuck you, Ethan. Like,
Fuck you, Ethan.
she could have gotten answers a little earlier, but then we wouldn't have gotten the whole wonderful journey. So,
ladies, when a man says don't talk to that person anymore, that's a red flag.
You better go talk to them. Yeah, so I think Azzy Tesfaye would be an amazing Betharia. She's gorgeous. She's got these beautiful eyes that I think really captures her. And it'd be fun to see her all blue. It's kind of like Avatar. It's like the Avatars.
Yeah.
I fucked James Cameron, but also that's like where I went, but I went with a more beautiful, less CGI
I'm picking up
version.
what you're putting down. Like Avatar.
Absolutely.
All those things.
Yeah. You can still see like their natural beauty, but you just put some paint on them. Give them some moss and some twigs. I would love it. They'd be beautiful. Next, we've got Professor Pralina.
Mhm.
I love my choice of Lucy Liu.
Okay.
Where
I never would
she?
have guessed that. Lucy, where have you been?
Where has she been? Now, she was recently
She did that scary movie.
Yep. She just did like that from this perspective of the ghost.
Right.
And they move into this house and this ghost, and it's her and her daughter, and this ghost is seeing them, and it's like watching their lives through the perspective of a spirit, and is like scaring them but isn't meaning to scare them, and like feels very emotional of a film. I have yet to watch it, but I picture Lucy Liu because Professor Pralina has these like perfect kind of like happy hello everyone, this sing-songy voice when she comes in and is going to teach you magic, and oh Ella, your magic is bound and it's blocked, and she's trying to help her, but she's also a badass. Like, she's a professor of magic, so you have to know your shit and you gotta be cool. Right. And I think of Lucy Liu, Charlie's Angels, of course, but Actually, more recently, I've watched her in Why Women Kill.
Ooh, I don't know
Have you
what
ever
Why Women
watched that
Kill is,
show?
but that sounds right up my alley.
This is a television show. The first season's great. The second season, I couldn't get through it. It's a whole different story, so I didn't care. The first season is done anthology style, but it all takes place in the same home in different time periods. And these murders that have happened in this one home, it takes a peek into the lives of three women and their struggling marriages. And she is the wife of a man who is very rich. It is the 80s, and he is actually gay. And she finds out, and how like the AIDS epidemic kind of unfolds, and being married to him and their society members and how that affects them. And she's just wonderful in it. It
Cool.
also has Jennifer Goodwin, who's Snow White.
Yeah, Once Upon a
Yeah.
Time.
Once Upon a Time, she's in it. She plays one of the wives. It's really great. I recently watched her in that, and I was like, what is she doing? And
Where are
how
you?
how she flits around the parties in that show gave me like Professor Pralina vibes. Add some silver into her hair and make it look great, and she can help Ella with her magic lessons and be like, hey,
Say love.
bitch, what's going on? Let me help you. I think she'd be really fun to bring on. And she adds some diversity too into the cast. I always
Right.
like to bring people of all different sizes, shapes, and colors into cast because the world is not white.
Yeah. DE&I still exists,
Yeah,
Donald.
Donald, you fucking orange Cheeto bitch. Speaking of orange Cheeto bitches,
Oh my God.
Bastion.
Wow. The universe
That's a
provides.
good one, right?
Excellent
um,
transition.
this is Jake Austin Walker as Bastion. He's got orange hair. That's
He's
why
a
I
burnt
said
Cheeto
Cheeto
bitch.
bitch.
Oh,
He's apparently 27, and I was like, sir, you look 35, but okay. If he shaved his face and we made him a little more baby, but this is him promoting National Treasure. He shows up in National Treasure and is part of the television series that was, I believe, a 2022, 2023 series.
okay, wait.
And he shows up.
Wait. There's a National Treasure 3?
I believe
Because
so.
I've seen 1 and 2 and the TV show, that's where I know him from, is National Treasure TV show, because that show was
I
fun.
believe so. Or
That show was
maybe it's in
so fun.
production.
If
Let me
there's a
check. Let me
National
check. Let me
Treasure
check.
3 coming out, this is how I feel about Jack Black in the new Jumanji movies, is I just really support that. Treasure is a national fucking treasure. I will die on this hill. It is Nicolas Cage's best movie. I will die on this hill.
So it was ordered for National Treasure 3. He was cast. The original cast, including Nicolas Cage, Diane Kruger, and Justin Bartha, are expected to return. Director John Turteltaub is also returning to helm the project. The plot: the new installment will see Benjamin Franklin Gates embark on a global search for a mythical artifact, the stakes higher than ever. Absolutely the same plot as the other two.
Which is exactly as it should be.
That is what we want.
Like
Script.
the first one, I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. The second one, I found Cibola, the city of gold. What is the third one gonna be? Do you remember how the second movie ended? It ended with them and the President's Book of Secrets. Bro, are you
So
fucking kidding me? I'm so ready for this.
there's something in
Please
that
be
secret
true.
book that they're going to find. I hope they
Please
go
be
to
true.
Atlantis.
I hope that. Girl, I was gonna say Area 51, but Atlantis is so much better.
Let's go to Atlantis. Okay, the screenwriter is Ted Elliott, who worked on the previous National Treasure installment, is involved in the script. Okay, great. Did he write it or is he involved? Somebody tell me. In August of 2024, a teaser trailer for National Treasure 3 was released, confirming the project's progress. National Treasure Edge of History. That's the TV show. Disney Plus had a series called National Treasure Edge of History, which aired for one season in 2022 and 2023. But this does not replace the movie sequel.
Thank God.
Nicolas Cage involvement. Nicolas Cage has expressed interest in returning to the role of Benjamin Franklin Gates and has stated that he is open to the possibility of a third film. Okay, so is it happening or is it not?
Give the people what they want. Let's start a petition, which I have your epic Barachito bitch segue. I have one that will rival it. Sean Bean's character in National Treasure, his name was Ian. Oh, look at
this sister project of Dreamwalker is in fact National Treasure. So
join us next episode when we cast National Treasure with the cast of Dreamwalker.
Perfect. They're going to be like, and Nicolas Cage is played by Sarah Waisglass.
I was going to say Loretta Kincaid.
Loretta Kincaid. Do you want to hear something crazy about Nicolas Cage? So he's been on the lot. I work at Sony, everybody. Okay. He's been on the lot filming the show Noir, which is a part of the new Spider-Man Marvel series. Okay. He's been on the lot. And apparently he's been lovely. The show has wrapped, so we're all done with Noir. I've yet to get my sweatshirt from production, but hopefully I'll get it. Do you know he has a fucking pet crow?
No, but why does that make perfect sense? Crows are very intelligent.
He has...
Katie would be so proud of me for remembering that detail. Shout out Katie Lou for telling me all about crows and how if you wrong a crow, the crow will remember and it will tell its offspring to hate you. This crow, their crow babies will haunt your human babies because you flicked a crow off.
Yeah, and you want to know what? I have dead stopped my motherfucking car in the middle of a freeway to let a crow pass because I'm not about to be.
You don't want that karma? Yeah.
Because you know what a crow is? A crow is one of the three: Hecate, the Morrigan, or Lilith, are three-headed goddesses that I love and worship of my little spooky little self. You don't fuck with them. We went to the Tower of London, and they have ravens there, and they have little pouches where you can put little shiny shit, because crows love shiny shit, so you can attract them and have them be your friend by giving them peanuts or shiny things.
Maybe I was a crow in a former life. Likes shiny things, will never forget if you've wronged them, will make all of their friends hate you too.
This is why we're so close, because I'm like, I love crows. They're my
and I'm
favorite.
like, I am a crow.
Yeah,
I'm crow.
I love them. They're amazing. I would literally be like, does anyone know if Nicolas Cage has brought his crow today? Before like, no, go back to your desk. I love him so very much. Anyways, this is my Bastion. I don't know why, but I see Bastion as a redhead. I don't know if it's because a boy with red hair named Logan used to pick on me in middle school and elementary school.
Logan.
You, Logan. I don't know if that's why or what it is.
Because Bastion is very much the bully.
He is.
He's the dick. He's a dick.
He's a dick. But he's also the character that I'm like, he's the Draco Malfoy.
Yes.
Something happened.
He's very Draco Malfoy.
You are this way because of somebody else.
Taylor Swift says it as somebody made you cold.
Somebody made you cold. And that's what I think Bastion is. I think somebody really hurt him.
I have maybe it's a secret wish. It's not really a suspicion yet, but it's a secret wish because everybody loves an enemies to lovers trope. So I have a secret wish that Bastion and Ella have a moment in the future. That I truly don't know why I'm wishing that. I don't think, and I've only read the book twice, listened to the book twice. But I don't recall there being any moment where I was like, wait, is there a moment here? There's no reason for me to want and wish for this. And yet here I am being like, I don't know, maybe this is my past trauma really being like, we can save him. We can save him.
He's a dragon shifter. So he's got like this bad boy thing to him, which I think we're just unfortunately unwell and attracted to, and so it's the collective
what the
of
fuck is
girlies
that?
right now. I don't know. We have problems, and I mean, I guess I'm here for it. Good for us. I liked this guy. I thought he was real cute, and picked him. So not married to him. I think that there's maybe someone else out there that would be the better fit, but he's not what I picture in my head, but he's pretty damn close. So we went with Jake Austin Walker of National Treasure. Whatever the fuck. Okay. Stick with me here. Next up, we have Queen Alora and Xander.
One of these makes perfect sense to me. Spoiler, it's Queen Alora. Lay it on me. Talk to me.
Okay, Queen Alora, I have as Andy McDowell, who is the mother and mother-in-law of Jack Antonoff and Margaret Qualley. There we go.
I don't know if I said it right. We'll
Quayle
find out.
Qualley,
She'll call us.
Quaaludes, Dennis Quaid. So Dennis Quaid is not part of this equation. Okay.
Dennis Quaid, you said Quaalude. Let's go back to that one. Every time you think you had to explain Dennis Quaid to me. No. That was like, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you, I'm out. I was, wait. What a ride. Okay.
Girl,
Margaret's mother, Jack's mother-in-law. I'm here for this. I
Andy
never
McDowell,
would have
who's
thought of
like-
her.
she's so now whether she would say yes to the project or not, her people will have to call our people. But because she is actually going through, she has a sickness. She has been diagnosed with an illness where she feels I'm going to step out of Hollywood, focus on my family, focus on my health and wellness
Sure.
and life. And I don't blame her for that.
Sure.
I see her as Queen Alora. She's got this beautiful, like, gray hair. She's let herself go naturally gray, and she's just gorgeous.
I want gray hair so bad.
No, you
I
don't.
want it to be stark gray. I truly do. I want to look like Storm from the X-Men. Maybe I want white hair. I don't fucking know. Her hair
actually
is
have
stunning.
gray hair all over the top
I
of my
want-
head.
I want that.
I have so many silver hairs, and I'm really struggling with it. I'm
Swap me.
not even 34 yet, and I tweeze them, and then everybody's like, don't do that, 2 more will grow back. And I was like, well, fine, grow back faster and it'll all match. I love Annie McDowell as Queen Alora. She's glamorous, she's classic, people know her, people remember her. She's like a comfort 90s mom
Yes.
to me. So seeing her as the queen who is a stepmother eventually, I would love. I tossed a few people around like Catherine Zeta-Jones, or I thought a little bit. I even thought of Jennifer Love Hewitt, but I was like, I don't think she's old enough yet. But she could play maybe Ella's mom.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
Every single time I see Jennifer Love Hewitt on screen, at some point throughout her performance, she cries. I think, I can't wait to see where she cries in this episode.
Ghost Whispers, though.
Every single episode. Find me one where she doesn't, and I will Venmo you $10.
Now, this is why you were laughing, and I will explain myself.
His face in this picture looks like how I feel looking at this picture.
We are talking about Xander, who I have cast as Benny Blanco, producer extraordinaire, and Selena Gomez's.
Does he sing? I actually don't think I know what Benny Blanco does.
Benny Blanco is a producer, and
We love
he
this.
is an actor
Awesome.
/ awkward comedian. He's
We love
become
that.
an actor / awkward comedian by being in the show Dave, starring Lil Dicky.
Yes. Oh my God.
He is actually one of his best friends in real life. So they like had this bit being like, Chuck, okay, Chuck, back and forth. It's just so stupid. And like he showed up as like the dumb stoner producer friend in Hollywood when Dave starts to take off as Lil Dicky
Sure.
with his music career. And so that is how I know who Benny Blanco is. And the rest of the world probably
Selena
remembers him
Gomez.
from this, but knows him as Selena Gomez's boyfriend, who has been likened
Fiancé?
to a big toe.
Who said that? That's rude.
It's like
That
lots
man
of
does not look
places.
like a big toe. He is adorable.
He gives me now because Xander gives me Gimli vibes.
Sure.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Now he's not said to be like a dwarf or anything. He's just got this warrior man legacy family.
I imagine like
vibe.
quiet and stoic and
Yes.
almost like duty. This is for my people.
Yes. If he's
Or
got
like
something
this is
to
for my
say-
family.
Yes, and if he's got something to say, it's going to matter. And I feel like Benny Blanco is very intentional with his words and his feelings. Like, despite all goofy and funny and stuff he was on Dave and how I originally knew him being with Selena Gomez, and Selena has a lot of trauma, I think, from past relationships, the stuff with Justin Bieber. She suffers from lupus, so she does have health problems. She gets a lot of hate on the internet, which is crazy because I love Selena Gomez, and he loves her so fucking much. And there's been so many interviews talking about him, like, how could I not be patient with her? That's what you do when you love someone. And he's very thoughtful with his words and his actions towards her. So it just stuck in my head after I watched an interview with him that recently came out. And I was like, it's how I see Xander.
I love that.
It's not so much about the looks. Xander is described as having like curly hair and whatever. You can do all of that with makeup and wigs
Right.
and shit, so that doesn't matter. But it was more of his personality. So, and he can be goofy if he needs to be goofy. And when we lose Xander, there's a lot of loss in this book. When we lose Xander, it needs to break your heart.
Yeah.
It has to hurt.
Oh, I
So,
100% agree. That's why I cast who I cast, is I was like, I want people to, like, just based off of the actor, I want you to
yeah,
feel sad when this
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
I was vicious about it. Oh,
It's gotta hurt a little bit.
yeah.
And while Benny Blanco is new and there's not a lot of stock in him yet, emotional stock, I think he could be, I think he was just like fun choice. And I knew that it would be like, I cast Pete Davidson and Akatar for God's sakes. So I knew it had to be a
I
little,
love Pete Davidson.
I love him. I made him as the Surreal, who is a character you don't know about yet, but
I was gonna say, I have no idea who you're talking about, but I love him already.
you'll love him. Okay. And my last two are Cinder and Ian. Cinder, I have cast as Anastasia Letic. She is from a show called Good Trouble. I see Cinder. She's described pale skin,
Yeah.
blonde hair, magenta eyes. She is a Dragoch, which is a vampire. And Ella calls her a vampire and she gets fucking offended. She's like, bitch, what'd you call me? She gets very offended. And
Sorry, over here in the realm of man, we don't say Dragach.
we don't
Sounds
say that
weird.
we say vampire,
Vampire.
vampire, and we sparkle. So she's she's not well known, but she's in this freeform, like ABC Family style series. And I really liked her as her character and actor. I know Cinder needs to be younger, a little bit more.
They're not
They're
necessarily mythical.
mythical.
Age is a spectrum in fantasy books.
Right, because Cole's like, what, 200? And last but not least, Ian, I cast as Ross Lynch, who is Harvey Kinkle in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and is a great musician.
You wanna know what's so funny is I have seen clips of him, like, at a concert, like, he's the singer at the concert, and I have never heard a word musically come out of his mouth. Every time he's on stage, I'm always just the brain
He's
shuts off
very
and my
cute.
eyes take over, and I just am like, it's very confusing because he looks so young, and I feel so much older that I'm
Yeah,
like, "I should not be drooling over this boy like this, but
but he's real
everybody
cute.
shut up.
Now,
I
I
just
feel
need to
like
use my eyes."
he could also play Ethan. He could, if he
Sure,
wanted to go more that rugged route. I think Ethan is a little more polished, but I
sure.
thought of him as Ian because he's got this kind of like edginess
Right.
to him where he would be like the cool brother.
Like popular jock.
Yeah, he could be like popular jock, or if we wanted to go the artsy route, he could be like the popular artist, indie beanie
"Let me take your
wearing,
picture. Let me show you my dark room."
for sure.
I
That kind
got
of
you.
dude. That's like very cool. And he with his friends when he checks in on her at school, where he's the fuck is going on. She's like, I'm seeing the Evamon. I think he would step in and play a really good brother role, and they don't look not the same, but they
Sure.
if you put Ross Lynch and Sarah Waite's class next to each other and were like, they're twins, I'd be like, sure. I wouldn't question it. And I wouldn't be like, well, they don't look anything alike.
But
But
also when
then,
you find out they're not, you're like, "I knew it. That
yeah.
makes more sense."
And then you could see the differences of how they don't look related at all. So that is my cast. That is my final Dreamwalker cast. They're all right here for you to take a look at. Take a little look-see and some, questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, fuck yous.
No,
Okay.
there are some that I am like, whoa, I never would have thought of that person, and I love your choice more than I love mine. See, this is the exciting part because I have all the information. There are some that I'm like, girl, buckle up, because there are maybe 2 or 3 that I feel very strongly about in my cast,
Okay.
but I can't wait to show you.
Okay, well then let's not wait another fucking second.
I know I mentioned it earlier, but a lot of my casting choices are based off of the characters that you created in my head as I was listening to this audiobook. So here's hoping I don't disappoint you. Just remember, this is my first time.
Cast for your life and don't fuck it up.
And so the very first character that I'm casting is Ella. My Ella, I was going for somebody who is
He's a
strong-willed.
total bitch.
Yeah,
Oh.
somebody who sucks. No. I pictured somebody who has been in kind of a fantasy realm before, somebody who was really tough, somebody who could be really sensitive and really caring for others, but maybe, I don't know, maybe puts other people first before themselves, but struggles with it. And then, also has a brother. Cool. Without further
Yeah.
ado, my Ella is being played by Sadie Sink.
Look at them blue eyes.
Yeah,
Look at
she's
them
got blue eyes. We can darken her
eyes.
hair a little bit because it is pretty red hair, but
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't know. I really kind of pulled this from Stranger Things. She plays Max in Stranger Things. She's got an older brother named Billy, who, even though Billy's a little bit of an asshole, she really cares about him, and she's really sad when we lose him. So I could really kind of see her doing all the things. Plus, I think when you ask emotion of Sadie Sink, like she was in The Whale with Brendan Fraser. She was,
Oh my God, yeah.
All Too Well 10-minute version with Dylan O'Brien.
Mhm.
I think that side of the coin really well. And I just really like her. I don't know.
I love Sadie
Me
Sink.
too.
I love Sadie Sink so much that in our second episode for Throne of Glass, the series that you should read,
Note take.
the Cinderella-esque character that the main character is based on, we fan cast Sadie Sink with blonde hair.
I love it. I love it.
Because she's fantastic. Like you're fully right. Like she can do both. She can do the fantasy world and everything
Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it really is Stranger, because like Max in Stranger Things fights Vecna in Stranger Things, and Ella in Dreamwalker fights Asvamith in. So maybe I'm pulling a little
And
bit of
has the
parallels.
brother.
Yes. So
And that's okay. That's what fan casting is
I
all
agree.
about. We're fan casting it because we're finding people who have done something very similar
Right.
that we're like, oh yeah, I know this person. I think Sadie's fun
I've heard
choice.
before, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think I've seen this film before. What?
Yes. And I think I know the end. I didn't know the
I didn't
and
like
I
the ending.
like the ending. There we go.
Sorry, Taylor.
There it is.
You have so much
We
of my
fucked it up
money
enough that
already.
we can't get
we don't
in
care.
trouble. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not married to Sadie Sink as Ella, but that's who I landed on.
But I like her. I can see why you chose her. That makes sense.
Boom. Okay, my next one is Ethan. This one I do feel very fucking proud of.
Give me a win, baby girl, because who the fuck did I pick? I don't know.
So this guy, I pulled this actor from the movie Smile 2. And I picked him because of his ability to play evil or possessed.
I have never seen that movie.
It was a fun watch, honestly. But
yeah, people said it was scary. Their marketing was
on point.
fucking have people at baseball games being like,
I really loved both
crazy.
of those movies. So I highly recommend that you check those out. But my Ethan will be played by Lucas Gage.
Oh,
He was in
bitch.
Euphoria. He was in
White Lotus.
Yes, and maybe the most recent season of You, like the Penn Badgley.
He's one of like the rich bitches.
Yes. And so
Yeah.
I just think he kind of is striking to look at.
Yeah.
Like he looks powerful. I don't know if that's the right way to say it.
He's
in charge. He looks in command in some way. But
yeah,
if you even Google his name and Smile 2, you will see pictures of him possessed.
oh,
And it is haunting. Like he is scary. So,
He's got a smile already that
yes,
is it's not icky, like, it doesn't give me the ick, but it's like, "Oh, that's
maniacal a little bit where you're like,
different."
he
Yeah.
has a secret. And spoiler,
And Lucas Gage also, I love him for 2 other reasons. One, he very quickly married Kim Kardashian's makeup artist, and then they got divorced
what?
really quick. Oh, yeah, he married Kim Kardashian's makeup artist. It was on, like, a Kardashians episode. I did not watch that show,
Me.
and I watched, like, a couple episodes, and I was like, "Wow, this is kinda fun," and then Kim Kardashian sucks ass, so that whole fucking family can eat my shorts. I
Are they
hate them.
Skims? Because I bet they would.
No, I can't afford that shit. I get Target, Spanx,
Tarjay girl.
Target. They're also on my shit list too, but whatever. Can't buy anything these days. He married her makeup artist. They got married in Vegas. She officiated the wedding, and then Lucas Cage, I think, cheated on him
Oh,
and left. He's also like, do you remember during the pandemic when everybody that was actors were auditioning doing like self tapes and he's
sure.
doing a self tape auditioning and the casting director forgot to mute the microphone and he's talking about his shitty apartment. This casting director is talking about it and talking shit and didn't mute his mic and he fucking responds and he goes, "Yeah, I mean, it's not much of what I have, but that's why I
Oh
need
my
this job and you
god.
should really cast me." And the casting director was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Bro, you
I
just landed the role.
deepest apologies,"
Like,
and he absolutely did, and I think I don't know exactly what it was for, it might have been for Euphoria, it was around, like, that
sure.
time. It made his
Oh
career
my
because it was
god.
all over TikTok, it was all over the internet, and so I am a fucking sucker for Lucas Gage, and I think you absolutely nailed Ethan.
I will confess to you, I did absolutely zero research on who Lucas Gage is as a person and his life outside of Hollywood. I truly only looked at his look and was like, you are striking enough to be a leader of the guard in the
Handsome.
Queen's army, but he to shift into possessed, deranged, a lunatic, truly. I was like, you and like I put him up against I thought about Bill Skarsgård, who played
Mhm.
Pennywise. I want that level of like normalcy to insanity. I want that switch.
Yeah.
And his switch in Smile too, I was like, that's you, my boy, that's you. And I don't even have
Yeah,
to
that's a
insult
great
any of your
choice.
personal belongings. You just get the role. Way to go.
Yeah, cause and he's attractive
Oh, he's
too, you know,
beautiful.
like,
He's stunning.
Ella is attracted to
Yep.
him, and he's on top of her in the woods being like, "Bitch, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
This thing's gonna hear you," or whatever, and, like, yeah, he's very cute. He's really cute, and I loved him in White Lotus too. He always plays that character where you're like, "Oh, you're all over the place, aren't
I
you?"
didn't watch
Like, you
White Lotus.
oh,
I know.
none of it?
Well, I watched
None of the
part of the
seasons?
first season, but it was so obscure for me, and I smoke way too much weed to try and, like, follow an obscure plot. I get 12 minutes in and I'm like, "Where the fuck are we right now?" It could
No.
be printed on a sign and I'd be like, "I don't know."
Mike White as a creator is a different flavor.
We love.
I love him, but you gotta really get into
Yeah,
it.
I'm
It's
sober
different.
because it's such a strange plot that it
Mhm.
makes you feel like you just smoked a bowl by yourself, so
Yeah, and once you get into the 2nd and now the 3rd season that we're finaleing this coming weekend, once you learn how Mike White creates his shows and leaves clues for what's really gonna happen, it's great.
but yes, Ethan Wessex slash
He's a
Asphamet,
great one.
Lucas
He's
Gage.
the good one. Be
Next up on
scary.
my list, this is the one that I feel strongest about because I think me
Okay.
personally, I'm a little bit in love with Cole. And I also, me
Me too.
personally, am a little bit in love with this actor. Now, I went with an already British soul, so he gets to use his own
As you do.
accent.
Mhm.
You mentioned Cole's lips, and I think this man has lips I would take a nap on. And also, I pulled from past roles where he's in a fantasy show that I think all of America who watches Stranger Things, it was always
Mm.
Steve Harrington for us, right? Like, even when Steve was a dick, we love Steve. until we met
Don't you break my heart. Don't you break my heart. Don't you break my heart.
Joseph Quinn.
Eddie.
Eddie Munson in Stranger Things rivaled Steve Harrington in a way that I was not prepared for. Joseph Quinn, every single interview I've ever seen of Joseph Quinn, he gives me golden retriever energy. And Cole gives me
I'm fucking crying
brave
right now.
golden retriever energy. Now, do I have a theory that maybe Cole has a secret that we haven't yet learned? Do I have a theory that this is going to pull him and Ella apart? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But I think Joseph Quinn would make that all the more heartbreaking. And I'm really hoping it doesn't mean like he's bad or evil. I really think it means like maybe he's done something in
No.
his past that haunts him. And I really feel like Joseph
Or
Quinn could play
his
haunted.
family.
Yes,
Maybe his
because
family
he
has
said
played a role
he's
in.
Cole has sisters, something
Yeah.
like that. Does he
Yeah.
have a missing brother, Cole?
I think.
His brother is maybe like
Yes,
a
his
ward
brother's
or
missing.
something.
His brother's missing.
So I don't know. There's something that holds a lot of shame or secrecy with Cole that we don't know about yet. I truly feel that in my heart. But I really think that watching Joseph Quinn tell that story, you can't lose. It's a win-win.
If you ever want to come on this podcast and win,
Pick Joseph Quinn.
you put in Joseph Quinn.
You put in Joseph Quinn. That's the campaign for his presidency.
That's it. I love him more than anything.
Yeah.
I love him in The Quiet Place. Day one,
yeah.
I love him in Stranger Things. Eddie is a near and dear character to me.
Yes.
If it wasn't for Eddie, I would not be in the career that I'm currently in with music TV licensing because I was so in love with him as a character that when season 4 was split into 2 parts and part 2 was coming and they showed the clip of him on top of the
Fucking
trailer
rocking
playing
out.
his fucking ass off on that guitar, everybody was saying, what song is he playing? And I knew without a doubt.
Love
and I
Story
have
by
it
Taylor
on my
Swift.
TikTok. I knew it was Love Story by Taylor Swift.
Romeo, save me. Pictured that on the roof of the fucking RV. I can't.
And there's all the demi bats.
You know
like,
it.
Just like, I knew without a doubt that it was Master of Puppets.
Damn.
Metallica.
I
knew
didn't.
because I was like, what would make the most sense here story-wise, time-wise, everything? And I predicted it and I guessed it and I put that shit all over TikTok and I was like, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? Watched it. That moment, I was holding Sean's hands, my husband, for those who are listening and don't know who the fuck Sean is. I was holding his hands and I was like, I want this to be the song. I want this to be it. I heard 2 notes and I was like, holy shit, I was right. Because he's got the Metallica, the puppet tattoo on his arm.
I did not pick up on any of this. It was a complete surprise.
This is during the time of like the Satanic Panic. And Metallica was very involved in a murder case that dealt with the Satanic Panic and Dungeons and Dragons. And Metallica was basically, their music was blamed as being devil music. And so there's a lot of things that I was like, it's got to be a Metallica song. And it's got to be Master of Puppets because they're all being controlled by something else.
Heard, yeah.
And like fully worked on it. And Nora Felder, music supervisor, if you are listening to this, I have worked with you, not closely, but from a distance for shows you have worked on. I'm only a coordinator, a lowly coordinator. But if you ever need a coordinator on your music supervising team, please call me. Thank you.
Close that gap, baby.
Anyways, back to your choice and pick. That was my soapbox.
No,
So
truly,
sorry.
this is.
I'm in love with him.
Yeah, me too.
He's incredible. I listened to a podcast called Fixing Famous People, hosted by comedian extraordinaire Dominic Pupa, shout out, and Chris DeRosa. They are 2 super producers of reality television, Bachelor, Real Housewives, those guys. Chris DeRosa, I call him our pod zaddy because he helped me kind of formulate this idea of FanCastic to create it and put it up. And he's got a great Fixing Famous People is very successful. I was listening to their episode today of them fixing Lil Mama. And you guys, this is directly to them. If you talk about Joseph Quinn one more fucking time on your podcast and someone says, I don't know who that is, I'm going to send you a box of
Glitter. We're going
I'm
0 to
gonna
60 full box of shit.
60. Because twice now they have talked about, Dominic has been like, the cast of Fantastic Four is out.
Yes, Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm is going to be played by some actor named Joseph Quinn. I don't know who that is. And I was like screaming in my car being like, hey, it's Eddie from Stranger Things. He's hot. He's beautiful. He's dating Doja Cat. I don't know if they're still together or not, but I think they were dating at some time or they went out. She's in love with him. Anyway,
Same.
today, again, the Beatles cast has been announced. The
Yes.
Sony four movie biopic, intersecting biopic. Joseph Quinn has been cast as George Harrison. And once again, they said, we don't know who that is. And I almost drove my car into the LA River because I was like, one more fucking time, guys. Yes, you
Well,
do.
you can
You know
rest
who this
assured
is.
knowing they will now know.
They
Because
will
once you
now
see
know.
him, you can't forget him.
Joseph Quinn, great choice. Lock him in.
I love
because
it.
I'm in love with him and I can't say no.
Yeah.
So we're going to lock him in and we're going to lock in your Ethan choice because I think he's the
Ah,
correct
Yay.
choice too.
Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so my Rhea, while I was picking Rhea, while I was casting Rhea, because she's elven, so I was picking
Mhm.
somebody who had that kind of mythical vibe. And
Yes.
immediately, Anya Taylor-Joy popped into my head because I think she looks like she could play an elf.
Oh my God. It's a Queen's Gambit.
The Queen's Gambit. She was in, it was the kind of psychological thriller one about food.
The
The
Menu.
Menu, thank you. I was like, the
The food
dinner,
one.
the plate. We were in the realm, but in the wrong realm. I Googled something. I Googled Anya Taylor-Joy red hair, and turns out she's been in a movie with red hair. So I don't know. I do kind of more get from her kind of like quiet genius or maybe a little bit aloof, where I think Rhea is more outgoing and more like sunshine. Yeah. Where Anya
Yes,
Taylor-Joy
yeah.
maybe gives me a little bit more of like calm before the storm, gray skies, tornado on the horizon
Mhm.
versus the wind is blowing and the birds are singing and we're all elves. So I'm not
Yeah.
entirely married to her, but I think she looks the part of an elven warrior.
Yeah, I think that's a great choice. Definitely see how you got there.
Yeah. Next, we are casting Bethyria, and this choice really just has to do with the accent. I heard your
Yeah.
telling of Bethyria's
Oh
character
boy, I'm
and
scared.
immediately thought of the
Hope I didn't
lovely
fuck this up.
Anna de Armas. I truly, the only movie that I could think of that I have seen her star in is Knives Out. Is that what it's called? Knives Out? Where she's
Yeah, I
like,
think so.
I don't know, she's the housekeeper, maybe is a good way of saying it.
Oh my God.
But it's like, you know, the mystery thriller, whodunit, blah, blah, blah. And that's really the only thing. I know she's been in other stuff, but that's the one that comes to mind for me. And just based off of the audiobook, I thought she'd be a perfect fit.
Wow. Well, thank you.
You're so welcome.
I love her. She's beautiful. She's also did the Marilyn Monroe film.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I never saw that, so
Yeah.
that's why I forgot about it. But
This one was a little brutal, and there
Oh.
were some parts of her. There was like a weird like through her vagina scene.
what?
It was like cinematically
Like she
shot.
was born? We watched her be born or something? I'm
No,
so
it was like more
confused.
like sexual. I don't really know how to
Oh.
explain it. It was like it was a cinematography choice
Okay.
that was it was really all sort of just
Wow.
out there. Yeah, it
Marilyn
was very
Monroe
interesting.
biopic doesn't scream POV vag, but choices
was
were
like-
made.
Yeah, it's I didn't watch it
Right.
because of the filming of that
Okay.
and kind of just like the whole thing that I was like, this sounds like maybe like not how I want to honor Marilyn Monroe.
I hope honoring wasn't the
Thanks.
goal in
Maybe that's
shooting
it.
from
Yeah,
that
it looks
angle.
like-
This weirdly makes me want to see the movie more. I'm not really a biopic person. I'm more of a there has to be in it, and this
It's very artsy.
yeah, I'm not really an artsy kid, but now I have to big question mark at the end of that thought. We'll
Put it put it on
Yeah, we'll
your
fill
Let's
that one
Press
out.
playlist.
Okay.
Put on that. But I love her. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
beautiful.
big
I
fan.
could
Think
definitely
she
say
could
I
be
get there.
a Betheria. Okay, Professor Pralina, this also came directly from the audiobook. Like you mentioned, she has a very sing-songy voice. She
Yeah.
like higher octave, maybe a little bit aloof, a little bit off in my own world. But there is part where she's trying to help Ella reach her magic. She realizes it's been blocked. And her approach one day of learning is to almost like maybe scare her into seeing if she can reach her magic,
Oh, yeah,
bully her.
she gets like a little
She gets pretty vicious.
two sides of the coin
Yeah.
Gemini where she's like, motherfucker.
So I wanted the actress to be somebody who could do the sing-songy, aloof, everything is magical. Let's learn about magic. But then also bleed into, oh, so you can't touch your magic. So everyone you love is going to die and it's going to be completely your fault. I wanted somebody who had the bite. Um,
Yeah.
and so I went with, for Professor Pralina, Amy Adams, because the high-pitched sing-songy made me think Enchanted, but also,
Yeah.
like, the switch to a bitch, I'll scare it out of you, but in a safe environment. I don't know. Good way to justify
Mm.
somebody
No, I
doing it
can
like
see how
that.
you can get there because, yeah, she's done sharp objects. She's did a Disenchanted, Enchanted,
Right?
Disenchanted, where she's like the evil stepmom because she's trying to protect everybody,
What's
but,
the one
you
where she
know,
was just, like, I never saw it, but I saw the preview for it where she thinks she's turning into a wolf or she thinks she's
Night Bitch.
yes. Like, something
Night
like
Bitch.
that
It's after a book.
where you
Yeah.
can like, I just wanted somebody who could play that switch, and I think Amy Adams could do that really
Yeah.
well.
I love that. We also cast her in our Throne of Glass as the queen because she is kind of aloof right now and
Yeah,
not really paying attention to what's going on. And we don't know where her character as the queen goes throughout the series
sure.
since I'm like still in the middle of the series. But if she's going to be part of the mastermind of evil, she
Right.
could also do that or
Yes.
not. So I can absolutely, yeah, that's solid choice.
We love
That's
it.
a solid choice.
We love okay, so next is Bastion. Bastion, I feel very strongly about this because for Bastion, I picture the, um, kind of like wrong side of the tracks tough guy. Like, maybe
Hmm.
he's grown up not as wealthy as Cole has. Maybe he's had to grow up a lot faster than his peers because he's in a familial support role. Like, I'm thinking, like, I don't know, how do I phrase this? He's the every single thing that
He
he has fought for, and
Yeah,
it
he
shows.
had to grow up. He had to grow up quicker than maybe
Yes.
anyone else has. Yeah.
So, but as I mentioned previously, he is also the one this is the guy that we called the Draco Malfoy trope of maybe a little misunderstood, but he
Mhm.
overcompensates to seem tough, so then he just comes off as a dick. We're like, okay, what happened to you? Who made you this way? Who
Who
hurt
hurt
you?
you?
My casting comes from the Netflix original good versus evil pirate feeling original series One
A
Piece.
pirate ship? One
It's called
Piece?
One Piece. I think it's originally a comic. Maybe I'm saying that wrong.
I've never heard of
It's
it.
one season right now that's out, but
Mhm.
second season is in the works and maybe coming out this year. I don't want to speak on that because I did no research, but Google One Piece. Anyway, my Bastion is going to be played by Taz Skylar. He plays Sanji in One Piece. And this guy, I think he
Oh,
just kind of looks the part of like
wow.
rough around the edges, will punch you before asking any questions. But if he is loyal to you,
Yeah.
he will fucking fight to the death for you. This guy also does like, I can't remember if it's Muay Thai or if it happens to be jujitsu, but I feel like he is trained in the art of combat in real life. So it kind of fits for Bastion.
Oh my god.
And he's also just, gorgeous.
You know what's crazy? I don't know how to justify what I'm about to say. He kind of looks like a dragon.
Interesting. He does blonde hair.
He's
Yeah.
got like this there's something with his like the intensity of his
Yeah,
face.
he is intense. He has an intense
He's
gaze.
intense. He's very intense and like, yeah.
Yep,
Wow.
there he is.
Fuck my national treasure Cheeto creme ass bitch. He out of here. I want this guy.
Ditto.
Wow. I love his hair as like that silver white too.
Yeah.
You could almost put like a red streak in it or like a
Ooh, that's
shaved
very
something in it.
Rufio of you.
Ooh, yeah.
Rufio.
We love Hook.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with him. Now I have to watch this
You
show.
really do. It's so fucking fun. And it has like that fantastical element to it where there's like magic to it. So highly recommend, highly recommend.
Love.
Okay, so
Great
next
choice.
is
Great
a double
choice.
cast because we have Queen Alora and Xander.
Ah,
Queen Alora, immediately I wanted somebody who again was striking, who had that ethereal air about her. Looks a little mystical, looks a little intense, maybe could lead an army into battle. And so I truly think I pulled my casting from the scene where Queen Alora is around the battle table and she is looking at the armies and strategizing with her commanders. And so I pulled my casting for Queen Alora from Game of Thrones, and I really just thought Sansa Stark. So I cast Sophie Turner as Queen Alora, but my Xander, because we talked about we lose Xander, he's like quiet, loyal, determined. This is also the one who we lose him in a battle.
So it's gotta hurt
And
us.
I
You said,
wanted,
yeah, you
I
chose.
said it to be somebody who would hurt us to lose. So as a true 90s kid, having grown up watching this actor on the Disney Channel, I wanted it to be someone that I feel like America loves and doesn't want to see die.
Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas? Oh, just kidding.
I would never do that to Sophie. No,
Oh
Dylan
my God.
Sprouse. I thought it would be really sad to have America, or the world really, fall in love with the character of Xander only to 20 minutes later have to say goodbye to him. So I wanted it to be somebody we all recognize, somebody that when he comes on the screen, we're all like, fucking shit, yes, dude, go. And then he does go, and we're all like, no. So yes, my Queen
He's
Alora.
the good brother too.
Yeah,
He's the good
the
one.
good one.
Cole Sprouse is a little shithead.
Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
him.
He did Riverdale and
Yes.
played Jughead
I
in
love
Riverdale.
Jughead.
I did too as a character. And then in real life, him and Lily Reinhart, Betty, they're together in real life. They were for a while. And he was, I guess, really shitty to her, like
Oh.
very emotionally abusive. And he like weirdly developed this like, so, and then whatever, and was like smoking a cigarette during an interview. And like the lady was like, can you put that out? What are you doing? Like, he's just acting very James Franco right now. But Dylan is obsessed with his supermodel wife and
Yes.
is just a lovely man.
Well, I
Oh
confess
my
I did
God,
not
that would hurt.
I did not pick one brother over the other. I never even considered the other brother just because I prefer Xander more solid. Is that a weird way of saying it?
Burly.
Yeah, burly is a
Mhm.
better way.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
little bit more grounded than
Dylan's always had that more grounded,
solid.
logical,
Yeah.
solid,
He feels sturdier.
kind of stronger. Yeah, that's it. And
It has nothing to
while
do with
Cole
size. It
Sprout,
has to do like broader
no.
shoulders.
Yeah, while Cole Sprouse is the like little lanky kind
Here's
of
how I would
little
describe
punk
it.
type of
I
thing.
would pick up Cole Sprouse and carry him like a baby. Dylan Sprouse would pick me up and carry me around like a baby. Does that make sense?
Yes, perfect sense. Perfectly. Absolutely,
I feel
it
weird
does.
about it now that it's come out of my head, and I'm going to ride the wave.
Nope. You
But
know what? He'll
yes.
call us if he has a problem.
Now, the one thing, so I like your Queen Alora better because I struggled with aging my characters. Does
Okay.
Sophie Turner look like she could be the queen of Astral Realm?
Everything?
Yes.
Yes.
Is she old enough to be a 17, almost 18-year-old stepmom? No, I don't think so.
No. Ooh, depending on how time works there.
Because time
However,
is very different in the Astral Realm.
I do think we should put a pin in her for a possible maybe one of his sisters.
Ooh, love that.
Or maybe Rhea's mom, older
Something.
sister,
Yeah.
something. I think she would fit really well into the series.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think that Queen Alora just has to be older, as
Yeah.
she's described as like beautiful, but you can see, I believe it's like age lines or something.
Sure.
There's a line that says that not that Sophie Turner does actually, she probably doesn't have them. She can afford Botox, so I'm sure she's fine.
She can afford just
And
to have
she's
a new
beautiful.
skin. I'll take
She's just
your
beautiful.
skin. Not
I'll
that she
have
would. I'm
yours.
just saying she got money.
We cast her as the villain in A Court of Thorns and Roses in Akadar, so you might want to read that one. Fun choices, though. I'm obsessed with Dylan Sprouse. I think that is the correct Xander
I
choice,
just want him
too.
to have, like, maybe a little more facial scruff than he does in this particular picture. But, like,
He
even
could
this
also do an
picture
Ethan.
says to me, like, quiet power.
Yeah,
Mhm.
speaks with his eyes. He
Yes.
says that stuff about the stars.
Yes, how the shooting stars represent a warrior who has perished in battle and is going home.
Yeah.
I want Dylan Sprouse to tell me about the goddamn stars. So my last two,
Mhm.
we have Cinder and Ian. Cinder is our vampire, and Ian
Yes.
is Ella's twin, not so twin, brother, not so brother. Love.
She's a drug arch. How dare you
How
call her a
dare I?
vampire?
How very
Yes.
mansplain. No, how very
How
human
also
realm of me.
how fucked up is it that they just like put Cinder in that thing and they're like, all right, go find her.
I
And you're
know,
like, what?
right? I would have
Huh?
been like, "Haha,
Okay.
wait, you guys are
What?
gonna let me out, right?" Okay, so Cinder, I wanted somebody who had kind of a vampire feel to them, maybe very angular features, very piercing eyes. I love the idea of like slick backed hair into like a really tight bun to
Yeah,
like
like I see like sharp
like
features. Yeah.
intense. I want intensity. So I will feel like I trust the person I chose. I think she is
Okay.
fierce and spicy. And I also think that so far I've seen her in maybe a little bit more passive roles. So I kind of want this one to be like bite your neck and suck out your blood. I don't know. But I'm feeling really good about that. And then for the brother
Yeah.
Ian, I feel like you talked about this a little bit. I don't feel like I know Ian very well yet. Like I've only had completely blocked out the whole scene where she like runs to him in the gym and he gives her a hug and his friends are like, yeah, man. So that's my
This is
sister.
really
Like, what's wrong with you?
yeah.
So I kind of forgot about that because in my head, Ian kind of gives me like stoner
Boy.
vibes. Like
Yeah, okay, yeah.
some dude who's maybe like, yeah, I just gotta hide behind the school when I'm back out. Like, that's my sister, man. Like, don't mess around. I don't know. I just who looked like a brother, some guy. I wanted a dude,
Yeah.
you know? That's a weird
Yeah.
way of saying it. But this kid who I have chosen, he was in the movie Shazam. He, so far in my memory, has played a lot of younger roles, and
Okay.
they're very brotherly. So truly, both of these were very much picked for their look and kind of a very vague, you could look like a vampire and you look like anybody's brother. Further ado, my Cinder and my Ian are going to be played by Hunter Schafer and Jack Dylan Grazer. Hunter Schafer, this is the most complimentary way I could say it. She looks like a mythical creature. She looks like a vampire.
She's so pretty. I love Hunter Schafer.
Yes.
Thank God Euphoria is coming back.
Yeah.
Jewel. Obsessed.
We
I
know
also
she did that scary movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to see it so bad. I'm not even going to let what anybody else said about it impact it. I am going to see it. Cuckoo.
Oh,
Maybe I only saw
I
you
haven't
and it
heard of
looked
it.
so rad and I was like, fuck yeah, I will definitely watch that. But so you
Hell
know she
yeah.
can do like horror, kind of psychological. You know she can do
Yeah.
high school drama, which it feels sometimes like these characters are having high school drama moments.
And she's like so skinny and like just like unearthly
Yes,
and
unearthly
like
of like
this.
not of this realm. She is not of this
Yes.
realm.
Yeah, because she is like so incredibly stunning.
Yeah.
Ah, and those eyes, can you imagine with like magenta contacts?
Yes.
Like just I love that. That's like kind of what I was talking, yeah, the sharp features.
Yes. With the like the
This is
intensity. Like I want you to feel
yes.
creaky. Is that the way I'm trying to say it? I don't know. Like, like I want it to feel haunting.
Yeah, I like that.
Haunt
Like she would like crawl out of that thing
like the
like, "Who
hand
the
coming out
fuck
of the
put me in
coffin and like
here?"
sitting up. I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm very vampire
like
focused right now.
claws. Claw,
And then
absolutely.
Ian, he played the main
I love
character
him.
in Shazam. He's been in some other stuff, but truly he looks like, yeah, I'm your brother. He
A
like
brother.
I watched a couple of his interviews and he has great comedic timing, which I don't know
So fun.
why. Maybe it's because my own brother has great comedic timing. Never tell him I said a nice thing about him because John, you're a little bitch.
Juan, you little bitch.
But I don't know. He just looks like a guy. He just looks like a kid
Yeah.
who could be somebody's annoying little brother.
Is he like the main kid in Shazam. It's been a
I'm
minute since I've
fairly
seen that one.
certain. I'm fairly
Yeah,
certain.
I
He's
think
got
he
smaller
is.
hair.
Oh, okay, and so maybe that's
Yeah,
why.
but I think kid who says Shazam, and then boom, you're Zachary Levi.
I love him.
Levy? What the fuck is that guy's?
Zachary Levi, we're mad at him right now, though, because he
Oh,
said some dumb shit.
look at us.
Laura Benanzi's mad at him, and so am I.
Hey, if Laura
Yeah,
is
I
mad,
love
we're
him.
mad. But yeah,
Okay,
this is my first attempt at fan casting.
goddamn, Emily, you should just be my fucking co-host. You're really good at this. I really love your
Thank
choices.
you.
They're so well thought out. It's absolutely insane. I can tell you right away that I love your Cole and I love your Ethan and I
Woo!
love your Ian and I love your Cinder and I love your Xander and I love your Bastion. And I want all of those for our cast.
Oh my God, I love this. And you want to know what? This works actually very perfectly because Bephyria, I wasn't sold on. And I loved your Aussie gal. And then
Yeah.
Professor Pralina, we love her. I accept. I'm in. Queen Alora, we
Hmm.
already talked about. Andy McDowell is perfect casting for that.
Yeah.
My Rhea, I wasn't super tied to. You know, like I think she looks apart, but I think what you described, what was her name?
Rachel Stubbington.
Stubbington. I think she has kind of that like sparkle quality that maybe Anya Taylor-Joy has the
Yeah, it's something. And I
darker.
think like Anya Taylor-Joy, we've seen her in a few things. And I
Yeah.
think Anya Taylor-Joy is she's gonna be in a Lord of the Rings remake. I
Mhm.
like her as a Rhea choice. I can definitely see how you got there, but I think she might honestly be too big of a name for
Yeah.
Rhea. I would like to see Rhea and like a newer actress be Ella. Like I really do like Sarah Waisglass as Ella.
Yeah. I'm
I can see how Sadie can be there for sure. She's probably got the experience.
right.
Um, but I'm not sure Ellen needs the
Yeah.
experience. I mean, maybe she does, but I would love if we kept my Ella as Sarah Waisglass. We kept your Ethan as Lucas Cage.
Love it.
We keep your Cole, it's the love of our
Shall
lives, Joseph
we?
Quinn. He's so busy though. I hope he can fit it into his schedule. Rhea is Sarah Stubbington. We have Bastion as Taz Skylar, love from the One Piece.
Yep.
I'm literally gonna start watching that. We're watching Sandman right now, finally,
Ooh,
for the first time.
so good.
Yeah. Sean has watched it before and he was like, "You're reading all these fantasy books. Let's watch Sandman." And I was like, "Okay, fine."
Have you guys watched Moon Knight?
Yes.
Sandman and
I've loved
Moon
it.
Knight give me similar vibes but different, like Egyptian versus.
It's all like dark magic
Yeah,
and things, and I love all that stuff. It's really good so far. Main
good.
actor for that show is phenomenal.
We love.
He'll end up in something. Okay, and then our Queen Alora will be, as you said, Andy McDowell.
Yes.
Cinder is the beautiful Hunter Schafer.
Yes.
Xander is the heartbreaking Dylan Sprouse.
Yes.
Bephyria.
Ozzy.
Yeah. Bephyria Ozzy Tesfaye of the DC universe. We love her. She's gorgeous. Also, she's an Indian actress. I would really love to diversify our
I
cast
love
as
that.
well. And then Queen Alora or Professor Perlina as Lucy Liu.
I think we nailed it.
I think we fucking nailed it. Boom, final cast. Love us. Fuck yeah. There's Dreamwalker.
There's
Brittany, I hope you're happy with our choices and our justifications, and we love your book. And can't wait for Dream Chaser. Emily, before we go, first of all, thank you for being an amazing
Oh my
casting
gosh,
director.
thank you for letting me fan cast a book for the first time in my whole life.
You can come back and do any book at any time. And, you know, maybe I can be on your podcast. Where can we find you on the internet and your podcast?
Well, onlyfans.com. I'm joking. That's wild. Oh my God, how out of pocket.
/feet.
Foot pick at no. So I have a podcast with two of my best friends, Mackenzie and Katie. It's not even recently. Oh my gosh, this May will be 4 years. But 4 years ago, I moved from Minnesota to Nashville. and two of my best gal pals are still in Minnesota, and we were looking for kind of a way to, hang out, have sleepovers. And so we started a podcast called Let's Press Play, where we all watch the same movie from our respective homes, and then we meet just like this. And
Hell yeah.
we basically do a quick summary of the movie, all spoilers included. We talk about the parts that we loved. We talk about the parts that we hated. We talk about music and costumes and acting and things that stuck with us, or things that we absolutely were mortified that they put in film that would be recorded for all of history. But yeah, it's like one giant sleepover with a bunch of your best girlfriends. And at the very end, kind of similar to this, instead of saying what actors would play the movie that we just watched, we instead say, okay, out of the characters from this movie, who would we be? Because we know
Hell
each
yeah.
other really fucking well, and nothing is funnier than hearing your friends be like, yeah, you are a main character, but you're also the homeless woman shitting in a bag on the side of the road at minute 12. So it's fun. It's fun. It's sometimes we're heartwarming, sometimes we're actual assholes. Sometimes we have very strong opinions, sometimes we do not.
Let's Press Play is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your
Truly,
podcasts.
wherever you get your podcasts. I listen on Apple because I have an iPhone, but we do say
And
at the end of every episode, anywhere you get a podcast. So check us out on Instagram. Let's Press Play.
I'm pulling you up
Pod.
on Good Pods right now. Listeners and Emily, if you don't know what Good Pods is,
Wow. Hold on. Hello? Okay, I'll tell her. Don't call me out like that. Jesus.
Good Pods is a place where you can have your podcast and claim your podcast, create a profile, and you claim it as the host, and people can listen and rate, and it shows up on top charts.
I don't think we have that. So if we're on there, I'm terrified.
You are on there. I am subscribing right now. I see that you have your latest episode is Damsel. So I'm sorry you watched that. That movie was dog shit.
We have strong opinions on that film. Film is a
I
generous
hated that film.
word.
So listeners, if you're on Good Pods, follow Let's Press Play to follow along with Emily's podcast journey. They're fucking hilarious.
Fantastic. It would
us
be
on FanCastic.
fantastic.
We actually charted for the first time.
Fuck yeah.
I know. So thank you for whoever the fuck is listening to this. It's everybody in my podcast connection. We're all listening to each other's shit and hyping each other up. FanCastic is currently number 29 in the top 100 books monthly chart.
Hell yeah.
And I am number 1 in the top 100 bookish chart all time.
You're number 1. You're number 1.
I don't know how real this is, but
sounds real to me.
I don't know how real it is, but it looks like I'm number 1, and that makes me really excited.
Yeah.
Listen to Let's Press Play and follow FanCastic if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Emily, thank you for being here, and I will see you when we're watching Drugstore June.
Can't fucking wait. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
You're welcome. I love you.
Love you. Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode of FanCastic, let us know by leaving us a comment, liking, reviewing, and subscribing to us on YouTube, Spotify, Twitch, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, or wherever else you listen to us. And don't forget to head to our Instagram and let us know what you think of our FanCasts. All FanCast graphics are listed on our Instagram, so sound off in the comments and let us know if you liked our choices, hated our choices, or have a better choice. As always, thank you for listening.